I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call?
Camera issue, I think. I'm here.
We're good?
All right. Hey, David.
Here.
Roger Mayhew.
Yes.
Charles Wiltie.
Present.
Mark Serbrook.
Present.
Craig Scott.
Here.
We have a very lengthy agenda tonight, guys, so I'm asking everybody to be respectful of everybody's time, and we're gonna do our best to stay on task and move along, so. Approval of the agenda. Any additions or corrections?
Just like to move, I suggest we move the new business A and B before, after the 7th, make it 4/8.
Before the candidate interviews. I agree. You guys okay with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Any other additions or corrections?
I'll make a motion to accept it with change.
We have a motion from Commissioner Scott, support from Commissioner Wiltie. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 3, declarations of conflicts of interest. Any?
No.
Commissioner Mayhew, any conflicts? Review of minutes, October 23rd, 2025, regular meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the 23rd.
Motion Commissioner Scott,
Support.
support from Commissioner Serbrook. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4B, October 23rd, 2025, closed session meeting minutes.
Motion to accept the minutes as presented. Support.
Motion Commissioner Serbrook or Scott, support from Commissioner Serbrook. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4C, October 30th, 2025, special meeting minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Motion from Commissioner Scott,
Support.
support from Commissioner Serbrook. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4D, November 6th, 2025, committee of the whole meeting minutes.
Motion.
Motion from Commissioner Wiltie,
Support.
support from Commissioner Mayhew. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5, public comment and agenda items manners. Any public comment in the room? Any public comment on the phone? Item 6, correspondence. We received correspondence from Grand Traverse related to the opposition to MDHHS competitive procurement process of prepaid inpatient health plans. Leelanau County opposition to MDHHS competitive procurement process of prepaid inpatient health plans in West Branch Township related to the termination of interlocal agreement notice. Those have been received and filed. Consent agenda.
I move that we consent A through G. Support.
We have a motion from Commissioner Scott, support from Commissioner Serbrook. You guys okay with that?
I think for all these resolutions, I'm okay with that.
You okay with that, Commissioner Mayhew?
Sure.
Item 7A, resolution to appoint a member to the Department of to the Department of Health and Human Services Board. Item 7B, resolution to approve an agreement for extension services. Item 7C, resolution to approve fiscal year 2026 tax receivable budgets. Item 7D, resolution to accept a quote for 82nd District Court Public Service Window Project. Item 7E, resolution to approve a change order to the county building ADA compliant secure entrance project. Item 7F, resolution to authorize adjustments to the fiscal year 2025 Ogemaw County budget. Item 7G, resolution to approve an exit interview policy. And I believe that's it. We have a motion, Commissioner Scott, support from Commissioner Serbrook. Any discussion on any of those? Roll call vote.
Roger Mayhew.
Yes.
Charles Wiltie.
Yes.
Mark Serbrook.
Yes.
Craig Scott.
Yes.
Jenny David.
Yes. New business, Mike Dematio, come on up. This is our drain commissioner. You have the floor, sir.
Hey, I'm here at your request. What can I do for you?
I can start.
Go ahead, Commissioner Wiltie.
Appreciate you being here, Mike. I know we've only met one time. The main reason I was one of the persons that asked you to be here, you, as many of us here are paid by our county residents. So, we ask pretty much everyone in the county that, has you're a stakeholder, that we ask for reports. So the only thing I would like to see a quarterly report of what you have going on. I know you just got a pay raise.
Which I wasn't aware of until about 20 minutes ago.
Okay, well, you did, and it was a pretty good increase, so I just think it's right that we know what activities you have going on. I haven't heard anything bad, but I've only heard good things about you. I just think that we need to know what type of activities going on. I understand our drain commission is not a very big entity of the county. But I would like just to kind of know what's going on with your, your activity wise, so.
Well, by statute, I'm required annually to submit a report to the Board of Commissioners. I mean, I can come here quarterly. I'm not sure what I'll tell you. I can keep a record of every place that I go that has anything that with the word water in it, which is basically what I do for the most part. I'm kind of a clearinghouse for anybody that has an issue with water problems, especially after a big rain event. The road commission, the townships, call Mike Ogemaw, and I go see them and I tell them what their options are. And if they're interested, I have a package that I send them, give them to establish a drain if they want to, which normally they don't because it's quite a procedure and it's expensive, but that's what I'm required to do once annually. So
How many drains are in Ogemaw County?
none.
So-
I knew you were gonna ask that. I had the answer already.
It was brought up as far as conversation, when those floods had taken place, between us and Aranet counties when
That's an inter-county drain. We have two of those.
okay, can you explain that?
That's a drain that traverses two different counties. But as far as what's called county drains, chapter 3 drains, chapter 4, we have none. I do not have the authority to establish a drain. I have to get a petition from somebody to establish a drain. It has to come from citizens, or it has to come from the governing body. For instance, you as a governing body could adopt a resolution to start a drain procedure, but I do not have authority to do that without a petition. So I've handed out a lot of information about people that wanted to, but it requires normally requires a deposit, which is in the statute. We can require a deposit for preliminary costs, and that usually nips it in the bud right there because they don't want to put, and then the weather dries up and then they forget about it. So, but there's areas in the county that could use some, and every time we have a big rain event, the same people call us and we give them the same information. Then it quits raining, and then we don't hear from them again. So, but we don't have any county drains. We have 2 inter-county drains.
What do you have to do with the inter-county drains?
I sit on a board. The drain commissioner from each county, for instance, the Whitney drain is a 3 Iosco, Ogemaw, and Aranet. So there's 3 commissioners sit on that board. And the representative from the Department of Agriculture sits on the board. He's the chairman. And then the Rifle River Intercounty Drain is Ogemaw and Aranet. There was 2 commissioners on that board. And then the Department of Agriculture was the chairman as well. He, as you know, he cast the deciding vote on that. But also some other things I do other than drains, or if you're interested, I can tell you.
Go ahead.
As I said, member of the intercounty drain boards, which means it's a drain that traverses more than one county. We have 4 lake levels in the county, and a lake level is basically people that live on a lake and they squabble over the water level. There is a statute called the Inland Lake Level Act where they can petition, they would actually petition you, and you would designate someone to administer it. Typically, it's the drain commissioner. And we form a special assessment district, and we have engineers decide what the best level is to suit everybody. It goes through the circuit court. You have 2 hearings to circuit court, and the circuit court actually sets a level, but that's another thing that we do. And then it's the drain commissioner's job to maintain that level. If there's maintenance that needs to be done, he has to have it inspected every so many years, et cetera, et cetera. We also sit on lake improvement boards, which is lakes that have water quality problems. There's Act 451, I think, that we have a board that's the drain commissioner sits on it. You sit on the Hardwood Lake Board. A county commissioner sits on it. A member from the lake sits on it, and somebody from the township. And we have the authority to levy a special assessment to take care of the water problems. That's another thing that we do. There's 2 ways they can do that. Act 88 with Public Act 88, instead of a lake improvement board, the township could actually do it themselves. It's a little bit cheaper that way, but I don't recommend it because there's no checks and balances. And when we do it, we hire a professional, a consultant that takes care of he does a survey of the water. He makes sure that the applicator does a good job. He takes care of all the permitting and stuff like that. And we've had one at Hardwood Lake, and everybody's very happy with it. And we've had it for years and years and years. So, but that's another thing we do. We sit on a lake improvement board. Some township or some counties, the drain commissioner does soil erosion, stormwater management. I do not. That's handled through the building department. I don't have an office for that, and they do all that. So
How many years have you been Ogemaw County's drain commissioner?
I was elected in 1982.
82?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
It's not a real prestigious job. Of course, if you guys keep giving me raises, it might be so.
We feel your pain.
Well, I mean, this may not be my place to say this, but I really don't want a raise. So I'm just gonna, if I do get mine, I'm just gonna donate it to one of the athletic programs or something like that, because
We get calls. I got a call actually last 2 weeks ago from a lady and I directed her actually to you. It was a drain issue on a road. Road commission said, get a hold of the drain commissioner, and so they didn't really know where to go. So I do periodically.
that's no problem. I don't mind.
Give out
I
your
don't mind doing
contact.
that at all. Was that up by the Boy Scout camp?
Yep,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I went up and talked to them.
Good.
Solved their problem. It was a simple solution, but yeah.
People like when you respond, so we
Yeah,
appreciate that.
and that's what I do. I'm kind of like what do you look?
Well, I'm gonna
I
ask
wanna
a
say
question.
something.
I'm asking permission.
Go ahead.
My way of asking her permission to speak.
Go ahead,
All
sir.
right.
I don't,
As you and I have spoke before, if you could just give a brief description or a comparison to what a drain versus a ditch is. Well,
Well, a
you
drain-
get, how many calls you get because of ditches? And it's not a drain
all the time.
all the time.
When you go downstate and all those ditches you see coming out of the farm fields along the expressway, those are all county drains. Those are all under the jurisdiction of drain commissioner. I think Michigan became a state in 1837, and in 1838, the state legislature passed their first legislation to designate somebody to take care of the water problems, because I mean, that area down there would basically be uninhabitable if it wasn't for the drains. All those ditches you see coming out of the fields and stuff are all county drains. Aranac has a lot of them.
Is that where they're 12 feet deep?
Well, they're as deep as the engineer says they gotta be, so. Aranac has quite a few. Bay has a lot, of course. Midland has a lot. Oakland County has more miles of drains than they do roads. I mean, they have full-time lawyers on staff, and they have their in-house engineers, and we sub all that out, of course, but without somebody to take care of the water, it'd be uninhabitable a lot of the ground, so.
Any other questions, Commissioner Scott?
Nope.
Commissioner Wiltie?
Nope.
Commissioner Mayhew? Commissioner Serbrook?
Mike, if you could just tell the people who may not know, what are the lakes that have water level controls?
Tea Lake, Osable Lake, Flowage Lake, and just a minute, I'll think of it. Stylus Lake. When we did Flowage Lake after the dam failure in 1985, we actually, Lapham and Associates actually designed that. We got an award for the best lake control structure of the year that year because of the design of that dam. So there's a lot of lakes that people call me. Same deal. I give them the packet. Here's what you got to do. You got to have a petition signed by 2/3 of the people that live on the water. You got to have public hearings, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they can't get the petition. They can't get people to sign the petitions. And it has to be you got to have a deposit for preliminary costs. Because if it doesn't happen, like if you petition me for a drain and you give me that, you can put the whole deposit up yourself. And if you want to, we don't care where it comes from because they are reimbursed when the first year assessments come in. But we have to have a deposit because if the project doesn't materialize, somebody's got to pay for the engineering and the courts and all that stuff. So, and typically I will get with an engineer and go over that, what they think kind of a deposit we need. Like we had out here west of town where they got the water problem there, where they plugged it off. The township talked to about that. We got, Spicer came up here and we went over that and, you know, they said the deposit for that was $20,000. And the township asked me if because they can put it up if they want to, because basically the township was doing the petition then. They didn't do a petition, they just wrote me a letter, which is not the proper way to do it, but they asked me if they should do it, and I said, well, I wouldn't do it because the township, it's not really benefiting the township, but that's usually where it ends. But I have no power without a petition.
Thank you.
Okay.
I got one more question.
Go ahead.
Try and make it. I've had people ask me who's responsible to inspect a dam. Does that fall under your jurisdiction or is
Only if it's an established lake level through the Lake Levels Act, and the rest of them.
Lake Ogemaw, for example, which is not.
Well, they have, and I went to Lake Ogemaw a few years ago and met with their association and some old guy in the back of the room. We don't need you bastards from West Branch coming out here telling us what to do. Fine, I don't care. I'm just trying to help. So that was the end of that. So they don't really have a legal lake level there. They have a lake level that's basically set by the DNR.
Okay.
So they do have to have that inspected, absolutely.
But
it's handled by the association. And a lot of times what happens on those lakes, 2 or 3 people control it. Like on Clear Lake, for instance, the overflow is on private property. So if we establish a lake level, we get a deeded access to that so we can get in and out. We don't have to fight for it, but yeah, and they fight. It's on private property and that guy basically kind of does whatever he wants. So.
thank you.
And that's why you go through the act in order to get a legal lake level set by the court.
Thank you.
Anyway, yeah.
Mike, we appreciate your time
Okay.
and you don't mind us reaching out or giving residents your contact information.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm like Craig Scott. I love going to people and talking to them. In fact, I might take you with me, Craig.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Nothing else, correct, Commissioner Wiltie?
Nope.
9B, Jeff Nichols, Veterans Affairs Director, Veteran Service Building HVAC System Proposal. Hi, Jeff. You're muted.
Hear me okay?
Yep, now we can. Oop, you're muted again, Jeff. Still can't hear you. Tim, do you want to take the floor on this?
Well,
There
There
you
we
go.
go.
Jeff.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. I must have hit something on my computer. So you have the bid in front of you. And I apologize. I walked out of the office without the bid to bring home with me. And so, but I know the overall bid is 72,000. We only had the one company, plumbing and heating, bid on it. My committee members looked over the bid. they're not super happy with the cost, but you know, they understand. It's going to take quite a bit to heat the building up and the air conditioner, and so we wish we would have gotten a couple other bids to come in, but they've approved it on their side, and we bring it to you for your final.
It looks like it's from Weiss Heating and Cooling.
Yes, yes. Wise heating and cooling. I forgot what I said.
Oh, questions, comments, Commissioner Wiltie?
So Jeff, how did you guys promote the job out to contractors?
We did not. There's just contractors out there. Wise, Ron Vidito is a veteran. That's how he heard about it. Most of the contractors, because we have had people coming in looking at the water heaters previously, and we told them that we were looking to eventually replace that. We had a bid last year because we had thought about, not a bid, but we had gone out with the original plan last year to, of course, have this replaced under a grant, and of course, all of it fell through, and that bid was by one of Jared's. I can't remember the name of the company. They came in and gave us an idea of what the through the wall units were, and the air conditioning, and what we would cost us to just do the bottom floor. But once that grant fell through, that's when we went the other route.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Weiss is local and they do a good job, but I just kind of concerned, shouldn't this have been like an RFP style setup? And it seems to me like there's been no process for really to be able to get out there to other contractors.
It actually followed the same process
Yep.
that we've used here. It was sent out of my office. All of the plumbing and heating contractors that we identified when we did the boilers here received this directly. We also posted it in the Builders Exchange in Traverse City and Lansing like we've done in the past. And I believe we also published it in the newspaper here.
Oh,
So we did do quite a outreach. Yeah, it followed exactly what the purchasing policy and how we would format this. You might recall about a year or two ago, we amended that policy to allow that when a group like the Veterans Affairs Committee has the project, that they do the actual bid opening and then bring the recommendation to you, which is where we are tonight.
that answers my question.
Commissioner Scott,
No, I don't have anything.
Commissioner Mayo,
Yes, it's their money.
Jeff?
Yes, it's all out of our contingency fund. So the county, none of it's coming from the county. It's coming out of our contingency fund, which I believe is roughly 2 to 300K. I don't have the figure in front of me, but we have more than enough to cover it. We're not even asking the organizations to add any funds to it.
Commissioner Serbrook,
I am very good with this.
what's your turnaround? What's your expectation here, Jeff?
I've already talked to Ron Vidito. He's looking to come in as soon as possible, as soon as it's approved, and at least get the 2 heating units installed, and then they'll work on the ductwork and the air conditioning side of it. I'm not a mechanical engineer, so I know nothing about any of this stuff myself, but Ron is antsy to get in there and start doing the work.
We need to make a motion for this, correct?
We've got a resolution framed and ready to go.
Got it right here, veteran.
Make a motion that we accept the quote for Veteran Services Building HVAC project from Wise Plumbing and Heating. Or
Cost not to exceed.
heating and cooling,
2,000.
2,000. Yes, excuse me. Support.
Motion by Commissioner Serbrooks. I think Commissioner Wiltie had already supported it, correct?
Correct.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote?
Charles Wiltie.
Yes.
Mark Serbrook.
Yes.
Craig Scott.
Yes.
Jenny David.
Yes.
Roger Mayhew.
Yep.
Karen, did you have something?
Can you include in your motion that those are funds being paid out of the Veterans Fund balance? Just so it's clear for the accounting portion.
Funding for the project will be allocated for the Veterans Office Fund balance. Yep, it's in the motion.
It is in there. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
It's in the motion. We have, before our first interview, we have about 5 minutes, so claims $438,381.24. Someone want to entertain a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to pay the claims.
Commissioner Scott, I'll approve that because he and I both reviewed them. Commissioner Scott, you want to take the floor?
No, go ahead. You did it. You did it.
Get things out. I got my paper here. I got so much. I know there was the windows. I'm hoping that was a final bid. It was like $125,000.
It was the fifth draw out of 5.
So it was the final one?
Yeah.
I wrote that down. I wrote down the electric. Oh my gosh, where's my little piece of paper? I wrote down the electric, which wasn't substantial. What else? There was some training, some conferences on there. I think Tim, you had went to one, Breck had went to one, which we'd all knew about. Inmate costs were on there. For local counties, Glide was a little bit higher, but it looked like there was quite a few more inmates in there.
I have a question again.
Yeah, go ahead.
I asked this a little while ago and just a high number, I know it's important. That emergency management, so we as a county are spending $2,333 a month to pay Mike, correct?
Right.
Okay, so that's just Ogemaw County, and then he's also involved with, I believe there's 3 or 4 other counties to go along with that. Again, I know it's important, but it's a good amount of money. Before Mike took, how long has Mike been in that position? Before that, I mean, has this always been that high of a dollar amount for this position?
We did a contract with Mike a couple of years ago and updated the wage at that point, but that's the only time I can remember that we did anything with that. And off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you what the wage was before that. This wasn't a huge jump to get to where he is now, but I just don't remember what the other number was.
No, it just number seems to me high for, I mean, I understand, again, it's very important, but there's only so much things that position can do per month. And I mean, again, almost $2,400. Just wonder, this conversation.
Commissioner Scott, anything?
Yeah, the housing department had quite a
Yep.
few bigger bills up in the over 10,000. They had a plumbing and heating bill over 10,000. They had a well drilling bill of over 13. So the housing, and of course, that's all their funding separately, but it adds to the total, of course. So there was probably about $67,000 or more in housing. So we've experienced the last 2 cycles lower numbers. So I think we're getting caught up on some of this stuff. So I mean, it seems alarming at that price, but when you're really looking at it, it's there. I think there was a central services charge for circuit court or something like that periodically comes along.
There was the share with Roscommon County. I think
Yeah.
that's quarterly. That was in there.
Yeah.
Did you see that car recovery at towing bill? Underneath the road patrol? I was gonna ask about that. It was like $250. It said car
Oh,
recovery.
yeah, well, we had that car that got slid off a trail in the woods and I believe it needed to be towed back to town when that kind of the gist of it.
I'm not sure about the tow bill, but at our law enforcement meeting today, the sheriff explained to us what happened, and Tahoe slid off basically a 2-track trail up by Clear Lake, but I didn't know anything about a tow vehicle having to pull it out, but I'd imagine obviously something's gonna have to.
It was just how it was labeled. I thought maybe a car got stolen. That's how it was labeled. It did.
So
What else did I see in there? I think the electric bill for the old jail was like $250. The jail across the road was like $2,100. I'm just doing this off of memory. There was some medical costs in there. Gladwin County had one for an inmate. It was quite a bit. I think like $1,300. I'm gonna say roughly. But that was really it. Nothing really. Meals were on there. There was like an $1,100 bill for inmate meals.
we had a breakdown per
They did.
meal. It was around $10 like we figured it would be.
Yeah, nothing really stood out, so. Any questions? Roll call vote.
Mark Serbrook,
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Yes.
Jenny David.
Yes.
Roger Mayhew, Charles Wiltie.
Yes.
Okay, we got 6 o'clock interim administrator candidate interviews. 6 o'clock, we have Susan Vanderpool. I believe she's on the phone. Susan, can you hear me okay?
Wave.
Yes, can you hear me now? I tried to unmute and start my video. There I am. But
are.
it
Hi.
said that the host wasn't allowing it. So yeah, good evening, everybody.
Good evening. Thank you for your interest and thank you for joining us. Can you briefly review your background?
Yes, I've been in public service over 30 years. I was in Wexford County in their administrator's office for a few years before I went to Osceola. I was the first administrative position working for the Board of Commissioners in Osceola. And so as the county and myself and the board grew, the job expanded, and I was there for 26 and a half years and then retired from there.
Can you tell us why you're interested in this interim administrator role here in Ogemaw County?
Your county is about the same size that Osceola was. So, and I know Tim, I know Ryan and Fabian also. I'm very interested in the work. Being in a smaller county, I know you wear many hats with working with the board and the departments and elected officials and risk management liability. So you're kind of that jack of all trades, and that's always been very enjoyable for me. And I like the public sector. I like working with commissioners and other people. And I do miss it. So when this opportunity came up, I thought, that I would like to discuss the position and see how I might be able to help you in this interim until you find your next administrator.
Thank you. I'm going to let each commissioner ask any questions. Commissioner Wiltie?
Well, thank you for being here with us tonight, Susan. Susan, so you currently are living in Mount Pleasant?
No, I'm living in Cadillac.
I'm sorry, in Cadillac, okay. So
Yes.
if we would decide to go with your services as the interim, what would your thoughts be? I know Cadillac is not a long ways away, but would you plan on just be traveling each day that you're here in Ogemaw County, or would you look into options of staying over here? It kind of depends upon how many days we'd be looking for your services, kind of deal. Have you thought about that?
Yes, all of the above. You're a little over an hour drive away, so it's not driving. I've always had to drive everywhere living in rural areas to get most places, so the drive doesn't bother me at all. And depending on weather, depending on board needs, projects that are going on, how many days a week the board is looking at having somebody in the office, I would either drive or look for someplace over there to stay too, especially if the weather's gonna be, if we've got storms or slippery roads or something coming through, then I would probably spend the night somewhere over near West Branch.
And so you retired as county coordinator in Osceola County in August of 21, right?
Yes.
Could you tell me that as the county coordinator, then what were like your main duties, your roles that you did for your job there then?
The county coordinator is the same as the county administrator. So I supervised all of the appointed department heads. I oversaw the Veterans Grant, Remonumentation Program, Indigent Defense Grant, handled liability for the county and insurances with the county was with MMRMA, the Michigan Municipal Risk Management Authority, did contract negotiations with the Board of Commissioners, wrote contract language, processed grievances. I was the county's FOIA coordinator. So very similar to Tim's job description. Those were the same duties that I had in Osceola.
Yep. And there's one more thing right now. So if we would decide to go with your services, you are available. How soon would you be able to start? And you are available if we wanted 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 5 days a week? You're flexible?
Yes, I'm very flexible. It would be based on, again, board needs, what your projects are that you have going on. Maybe some weeks might be busier than others, so might require more time in the office. I'm really looking more for guidance from the board in that category, what you think would be most appropriate, depending on, again, any projects or anything that you have going on.
Okay. And then when would you be able to start? What's as soon as you'd be able to start?
I have the end of next week available on Thursday, and then the week of Thanksgiving, I don't have any plans outside of the holidays. So again, I could start the end of next week if the board thinks that would be appropriate.
Thank you.
Commissioner Scott.
Hi, Greg Scott. Have you, since retired, done any other interim work?
I've done a couple just off the book type projects and helped a couple counties with some personnel matters that they needed just some assistance with, but not like this, not on an interim basis.
Okay, so you just put out a couple of fires for a couple other people then?
Yep, I actually worked on one yesterday.
Okay, do you have, I imagine in your time in that area, you probably got township officials or something that give you calls from time to time to ask you ideas to take care of a situation?
Yeah, I've got a couple county administrators that I still talk with, a couple county commissioners, and some township people that periodically they'll have something come up and they just call to kind of pick my brain or see if I remember, what statute, they followed, or was there any court cases or litigation, on a particular topic. And I just enjoy helping people that way.
Hard to get away from it, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It's grocery shopping is usually always interesting when you run into someone.
Yes, it's an experience, not a shopping
Yep.
trip, it's an experience.
And-
Our big thing that we've been going through in the last few years is the accounting side, the number side. And we're rolling really good right now. We're up on a wave and we're doing really good. And I think we all want to stay on that wave and keep going. I don't see it. We don't have any real big projects going right now that's going. I think we need somebody keep the ship upright. Where would be, I don't know what, I'm trying to say this, okay.
You want me to come back to you?
Yeah, come on.
Commissioner Serbrook.
Hi, I'm Mark Serbrook. How are you today? This evening,
Good.
what do you think the most important responsibility for an interim county administrator would be? So, I mean, if you can just. I know Commissioner.
To me,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yep. one of the most important things I think is communication, communicating and having that collaboration and dialogue with your county commissioners, with your department heads and elected officials, especially in an interim basis when they know it's kind of this transitional period. I think people still want to be informed. They want to know what's going on. Budgets are always that living, breathing document that you've got expenditures coming up or unforeseen things. So you want to make sure that money's still allocated and that the department heads are doing well with their budgets. I had wondered how the board preferred communication, if that's more where things go through the board chair and then disseminated out, or kind of more, I have a very open management style. I don't mind, spending time talking to somebody, explaining situations. I think the more information people have, the better they're able to make decisions and choices. So a lot of that to me is communicating and trying to keep everybody, the best that you can on the same page so they know in an interim period still what's happening in the county.
Yeah, that kind of flowed into my next question about how would you approach to establish and maintain a good working relationship with the board. So I think you've expounded on that a little bit.
Yeah.
How would you effectively keep the commissioners, staff, and the public informed in the media, informed of county issues? What would your approach be to that?
I would look first to get guidance from the board, what current policies and procedures that you have in place. If there's the opportunity, hopefully I'll be able to talk with Tim and find out his processes, what he's been doing, what's already been working for the county. There's no sense in changing things if they're already working and that's what people are used to doing. So looking at those resources to find out already what you have in place, what you're comfortable with, and maintaining those things that Tim has in place.
Thank you.
Commissioner Mayhew, any question?
How are you at running the meeting? Keep us out of trouble?
Yeah.
Did you hear the question?
No, I'm sorry I didn't.
Go ahead. I didn't think she heard it.
How are you at running the meetings? Can you keep us out of trouble?
Oh, yes, running meetings and keeping you out of trouble. That was one of my jobs in Osceola. So many times the commissioner will come on and it takes a while to learn the county and what the processes are, what the different departments do. So having those processes, I looked at your agenda for this evening, the way that everything is laid out, the processes that are explained there, making sure that you guys had the information, the resolutions, the topics, documents that you need to consider in order, to make decisions on those topics. So that's something I did for over 20 years. So,
Anything else, Commissioner Mayhew?
If we're wrong, can you tell us we're wrong?
yes, in a very professional, respectful, nice way. Sometimes people have an opinion of something, or maybe they don't have all the information on a topic, or they're looking at a statute, but maybe there's more information or there's more items that are attached to something. So the more information commissioners have, the better choices that you can make. And if something's not appropriate, I try really hard not to correct commissioners in public meetings. I think there's a time and place for it. usually that would take place outside of a meeting. The only time that would happen during a meeting would be if it were a matter that miscommunication would affect a vote that the board would be taking. Then I would feel it necessary to say something and let you guys know that what information maybe wasn't correct or what understanding needed maybe to be expanded upon. But I try really hard never to correct someone in public.
We have two elected officials that will work very closely with the interim along with the new county administrator / controller. I wanted to ask each one of them if they had questions. The clerk, do you have any questions?
I'm Brett Gildner, Ogemaw County Clerk. My question is, if originally I know that we had hoped for some overlap in training before Tim leaves. If that can't happen, how would you adapt to our processes?
I would meet with you and any of the other elected officials that the board would like me, to collaborate with and work with, find out what your processes are, how you're involved in matters. Usually knowing Tim, and even when I left, we've always made ourselves available for a quick phone call, or if questions come up or there's a current concern on something. I would try not to bother him a lot, but I wouldn't be uncomfortable giving Tim a call either. But again, it's getting to know each other, finding out what your current processes and procedures already are, any concerns that you have going forward, and charting that best path to keep you guys moving and things in process during this interim time.
Treasurer, do you have any questions for the candidate? Go ahead.
If you don't mind.
Nope.
Hi, Karen Piglowski, Ogemaw County Treasurer. Nice to
Hi.
meet you, Susan. My question is,
You too.
you've mentioned communication a couple of times in your interview this evening. Do you have an open door policy? Are you receptive to ideas, new ideas and suggestions when you speak of communication?
Yes.
And do you,
Yes,
are you comfortable working in a team environment?
Yes, very much open door communications and flows. Sometimes I could get more work done, in the evening between 5 and 7 at night than I could during the day, because of maybe some unscheduled things that would come up, or people might pop in, or somebody had a personnel issue that came up. I enjoy working as teams. I enjoy working individually too. It just depends on what the topic is in the matter. Sometimes there's some things that are confidential with the board that can't be discussed with, anyone else, but otherwise, like budget processes, working on contract negotiations, other things that are those team type collaborations, very much. I think it's extremely important that you have that input from other people, because, you all work for the county. The taxpayers are paying salaries and expect information. And the better the communication and the relationships are, I find, within the county between the department heads, elected officials, and the Board of Commissioners, the smoother and easier things go.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Again, we're going to try very hard to stay on this time frame that we have here. So I'm going to go through the commissioners and see if there's one final question that they have before we move forward. Commissioner Woodson?
No, I'm good. Thank you very much, Susan.
Commissioner Scott?
Yes.
No, I don't have anything else.
Commissioner Mayhew? Commissioner Serbrook?
No, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
What's your desired rate of compensation?
Generally, I'm looking at $100 an hour or a max of 800 a day.
And finally, again, thank you for your time. Do you have any questions for us?
You are looking, I'm understanding for someone, of course, as soon as possible. Because of time constraint, I had a few about like risk management, carriers, and any projects that you do have going in the county, and how your budget is set up. But that's something that if things move forward, I'd be able to have those discussions with you then. But no, I appreciate your time this evening and meeting all of you. And I know from the candidates that you're talking to tonight, I think any of us would do really well working with you. So
Tim, do you have
I'll
anything
look
to add?
forward to hearing more.
I thought I'd ask nothing.
No,
Thank you. Appreciate your time, Susan.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And then we have Ryan Wood.
You should be on.
I don't see him. Ryan, are you on?
my phone on the bottom there.
I know we're a few minutes early,
Was he scheduled for?
6:30. Yeah,
You want to just call recess or something?
we can move on to department head. We have time. We can move forward to department heads and keep going and then come back. You guys okay with that?
I'm fine.
Chet, I'll even come back to you if that's okay. Elected officials and department head reports. We have reports on our iPads. But clerk, do you have a report?
I know,
No report?
I didn't plan on one because I knew it was gonna be a long meeting.
Treasurer?
My cash summary report is on your iPad, Bloomfield.
Anybody else in the room want to give a report? Oh, MSU. We got about 8 minutes.
Okay.
3,
8 minutes?
you get 3.
Oh, no, it's because Mark teased me earlier. Julie Darton, MSU Extension. I just want to offer my thanks and appreciation for the approval of the memorandum of agreement. As you know, we're in the midst of our current year because of the fiscal year starting in October. And I just hope we have a great year. We had a really good staff meeting today. We've got really good momentum going with the archery program. Learned today that we only have 2 spots open for the winter archery for 4-H. So we're excited and we'll keep you updated on where we are. It sounds like maybe you have a candidate who's joined, so I can say thank you unless there's any questions for me.
Oh, you got about 6.5.
Yeah, we got time. I have a question for you.
Go ahead. Okay.
The Friends of MSU Extension, we've had 2 meetings now.
Well, we had informational meetings about forming a Friends of Extension group that would help with advocating for the 2026 millage renewal. And at our last meeting, we approved Andrew Walker to serve as the president of that group. And Denise Dowd is agreed to serve as the treasurer for that group. We're still seeking a secretary to serve that board. But we're going to be generating a budget for that effort and creating a parallel path with raising awareness about what 4-H does across the county. So we're moving along.
Anything else, Commissioner?
No, as I always say, I mean, I know I'm official liaison with MSU Extension, but it's how we can get more exposure and to get out to our residents, because a lot of our residents still, I feel, don't know all the benefits and the programs that MSU Extension offers.
Yeah.
So we need to continue that exposure. You guys do a lot of great things.
Yeah.
Just need to be able to have our residents know about it.
Yeah, just today, I was in a session for secretaries across the state to help them understand 2 of our hotlines, which people can call toll free. We have a lawn and garden hotline for people to get questions answered about what's going on with my yard. Should I prune this tree? What do I do about this infestation of insects? How do I read my soil test? That's a free service that we offer through MSU Extension. It's staffed by our our staff, as well as Extension Master Gardener volunteers who are required to do professional development and continued education. And then we have a food safety hotline, which this is the time of year to talk about a food safety hotline. We're all about to go to everybody's house to have Thanksgiving, and we don't know if everybody's thawed the turkey right. And that makes a big difference because foodborne illness is extremely costly and preventable. So we have food safety educators who help people understand how they can preserve their food effectively, how they can manage their food resources safely and effectively. You know, things happen. People lose power, your refrigerator dies. Can I keep this or should I throw it away? What happens to all the meat in my freezer if I'm out of power? We have people who will answer those questions, and you can leave a message and they'll get back to you. So those are things we do statewide, and they're toll-free calls. I'll get the numbers to all the commissioners, and but if you have any questions, you can call our office and we'll direct you to those resources.
Thanks, Julie.
Thanks for giving me time.
Judge, do you have a report enough? Come on up.
I don't know if it's a report, you guys kind of had my thought here. Came mainly we filled our civil position, Joel retired. We filled that position with Katie from the prosecutor's office, she moved up. As you guys know from the meeting a couple weeks ago, I'm trying to fix a different window. We have the window, it just doesn't have a hole in it to work with the public. Because I want to bring that civil division over to my general office so that everybody's in the same space, can cross-train together, work together. So that's why we had the bid done to see how much it would cost just to make a window where we can actually get papers back and forth with the community, serve the community better in the civil division, because our civil division has increased greatly. And we want to make sure that all of the staff can cross-train, because that's been one of the things that's not happened in the past, and I want to make sure that that does happen. Plus, knowing that the goal, I believe, is to get rid of the old sheriff's department. We have storage over there, we have files. I want to bring them over to where my past civil clerk was, and change that into kind of like a storage / lunchroom to bring that as well. So I was just a little surprised when I mentioned the window thing to Tim and got the estimate. He was the one that suggested it coming out of the ARPA funds, which made sense to me because my understanding that was for improvement to the building. So I was a little surprised that, knowing now how much money you guys still have left that has to go back if you don't spend it, why you didn't consider that coming out of the ARPA funds when it's to help the community, help to better my office. So I was a little surprised at that it was like, no, it can come out of her budget, which our budget, we're always trying to save. So I was a little disappointed in that. Tim made it sound like it was a no-brainer. I thought I didn't come to speak because I thought it's a no-brainer. And then here we are. So I was a little bummed about that. But in the end, I mean, my plan was to take it out of my budget because I didn't know that there was that much money left in the ARPA funds that could have been used, so that you didn't have to pay that back. In the end, it's your guys' money. So if that's how you want to spend it, that's what we'll do. But yeah, that was a little disappointing to hear that that wasn't even considered. So that, other than that, we're district court's moving along. We're doing our thing. We're working with the jails the best that we can. That seems to be going well, and that's it.
Comments, questions?
It was just another idea that had to be said in public. Just like we've done in the past, we have to say everything in public.
As far as what?
Where did the money come from? We didn't say, no, we're not gonna do it if the money can't come from the court. We didn't say that. We said, can it come? We just want to know if it could come from the court.
Well,
We didn't say, it wasn't a deal breaker.
well, and that's why I wasn't quite sure where the resolution came here then today, because when I asked for the bid, it went to Tim. I asked Tim if the bid was there. He said, yes, I'm gonna put it forward to go through the ARPA because that makes the most sense. It's a no-brainer. We've got the money. If we spend it out of the ARPA, we don't have to give it back. And so then I was told that you guys decided not to put it out of the ARPA and use it out of my budget.
Well, if you look at the meeting.
Hold on, let Commissioner Scott,
Yeah,
go ahead.
and Commissioner Meyer, I didn't come to the meeting.
Okay, I know, but we YouTube everything.
And I know that, and I didn't have a chance, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was in, prelims and other things like that.
Okay,
I received an email from Tim that said the commissioners decided to use it out of your budget, said you had enough money to do so, so it'll come out of your budget. So if that's what you want to do, then I'll put it on the board. I said, well, if that's what we need to do, then I guess put it on for today's agenda. So I just got that from him. So if your decision was not to take it out of the ARPA, then great, because that makes the most sense to me, because if you have the extra money and it's for, again, another window or stuff for the building, that would make the most sense to me.
I don't think when this discussion took place last week that we asked what our fund balance was with the ARPA. We're because with 10 missing windows and we pretty much use that 10% contingency. I don't even know where our balance is with that. The question was brought up was, where is this money coming from and is there money in their budget? The answer was yes, because most of the ARPA funding has come from overall. We haven't really and correct me if I'm wrong, we haven't really spent the money department wise. It's been overall for county improvements. We weren't against it. It was conversation. We asked if there was a fund balance where it could come out of your guys' budget. The answer was yes. Again, I agree with Commissioner Scott. It wasn't a deal breaker. We asked where this window was, if it's to help also keep you guys safe, which is we feel very much responsible for.
Which is another reason why I want to bring that up, because they're kind of on their own little, there's nobody really there watching them. I can't see that office from down there, bringing all my staff over to that one spot. And like I said, I apologize because that's not how I was informed of it. Like my information was that he was going to bring it to you that it should come out of ARPA because it makes the most sense. And then you guys said, well, it can come out of our budget.
They're funding in your budget. We got the answer yes. So we said, okay, then it might as well
and I don't know where he's deciding that the funding is in my budget, because I had a new employee, obviously that's lesser than my previous employee, but they also are a family and my previous employee wasn't a family. So that's going to cut into there. So I don't know where all that comes from, but I just am like, why would we, if we have ARPA money to cover improvements to the building, which this would be an improvement, then why wouldn't we use that over the budget that goes to the general fund? Now, Tim can tell you, my office, we do a great job with our budget. I think 40-something thousand, I think, we ended up being under this year. Is that about right?
Yeah.
So, so we're always working, because it ends up going back to you. So I just figured if there was a way to have it paid, if you have that extra money in the ARPA that you lose if you don't use, and this is a building to help the building, why we wouldn't do that. So just a thought, and I apologize, but that's just how I was told it. So
it's fair.
Okay.
right. Okay.
Can I make a comment on this?
Go ahead.
This morning at the budget committee meeting, this was brought up. I think some of this conversation might have been in the meeting that I missed. But Tim, we talked about that at the budget meeting this morning, that we want to make sure to maximize anything we can with that ARPA funds, because we did find out that we still have a fair amount of money left over that we can use as long as it's related to something close to what we're doing, projects we're doing. So, it would make the most sense just to pay for this out of that. We still can, right? We just talked about this morning.
You still could, yeah, you could amend the resolution to do that if that was your choice. But I think as I represented last time, neither choice is wrong.
You did.
Right.
Neither choice is wrong.
The thing is, we're not gonna let you go broke. We're not gonna spend money and let you go
It
broke.
makes sense.
If you need some money because we did something different like that, we'll make sure that we get some money there. Now, we still got some big projects going and we've been cost overrun on every project up to now.
We have been.
And we try to build in.
Hold your meeting here.
No,
for your next guy.
we want to focus on you.
But listen, Mr. Scott, no, I was going to pay it out of my budget to begin with. I wasn't worried about me getting my window.
Yes.
I just was saying, my thought is if it's money that you have already to use that you are going to lose if you don't use.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do it on something like this window that would be covered under that, then coming out of your general fund budget? Danielle will make it work.
Yeah, no,
One way or the other.
Okay.
So that's all I wanted to say, that if you
Thank
have the
you.
money that are.
I just don't know that we're gonna have enough money left over because of the cost overruns and everything else. That's all
It's fair. Let's move
I know
forward.
We gotta move forward, but again, you guys, this morning at the budget committee meeting, we've realized, and I think we were all surprised, that there is substantial amount of money left. Correct, Tim? Wasn't that?
Projected to be, you've got a couple of projects yet.
I understand that, but I'm saying there's substantial amount of money in there that we really weren't expecting to be that high.
Okay, we're gonna move forward right now. We have the next candidate, 6:30, Ryan Wood. Good evening, Ryan. Thank you for joining us. Oh, I think you're muted.
There you go.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for joining us and thank you for taking interest in this position.
I'm happy to be here.
Can you tell us briefly a little bit about your background?
Well, I've spent my entire adult life working in local government, and I started in DeWitt Township back in the 80s. DeWitt is a charter township of, it was over 10,000 then. I think it's around 14 now. We had an explosion of development over that decade I was there, from 88 to 99. Was doing 100 to 150 single family homes a year, commercial development. It was a busy job. Today it's still the largest unit in Clinton County. I left there of my own volition and took the position of administrator controller at the county, worked there from 99 to 2020, and retired. Was enjoying myself at home and after raising a family and such for a while. And I had a call. I was interested in assisting Gratiot County after a crisis they had here. And I've been working diligently here for going on about 7 months. As you know, Tim is going to be coming here to take this position, which I'm happy for him and happy for myself. It's been a busy many months, just scrambling to pull things back together after the embezzlement scandal we had. And then I was asked if I might be interested in some additional duties, and I said yes. Maybe I'm a glutton for punishment, but I was interested in speaking with you folks this evening. And I think my resume clarifies my educational experience, etc. But that's, in a nutshell, my background.
Questions? I'm going to let each commissioner ask a question if you don't mind.
That's fine.
Commissioner Serbrook.
Good evening. What do you think the most important responsibility of a interim county administrator is?
Well, the most important quality in my mind is being open and honest with everyone, making certain that the budget is being followed, policies are being adhered to, and just being a straight shooter and consistent with the folks that you deal with.
What would your approach be to establishing and maintaining a good working relationship with the board and appointed and elected officials?
Well, again, it goes back to just being forthright and honest. I think the first thing I would do would be, hopefully we'd have a chance to have a meeting, a get to know each other meeting. As far as with staff and such, I would ask the departments and elected officials to join me at a meeting and introduce myself and tell them my background and get an opportunity to hear their roles and have a good discussion about where Ogemaw County's at and where they need to, what they need to be doing the next several months as you do your search for a new administrator. To be honest, it's a little different when you're just going to be there a few months. You don't really get a chance to know personalities and such as you might in a regular position. But I warm up to people pretty quickly. I'm approachable. I think I would be a good fit for that role.
Thank you.
Commissioner Mayhew. Commissioner Scott.
Well, go ahead and ask him if he keeps us out of trouble. It's okay. If I was to ask somebody else that you've worked with, what would they tell me as the type of decision maker you are? in your opinion?
Well, I like to be thoughtful, but at the same time, depends on the issue. I like to listen, try to understand the issue as best I can. It depends on the situation. If it's, relatively minor, we can have a quick discussion and this is where we need to go. If it's a larger one, I need additional input, talk to some other folks, speak with the board, get some input, but it's that's really a situational thing, but I really don't like to dwell too long on things. In my experience, things move pretty quickly. There's always something to be doing. After a few decades of experience, I don't want to sound boastful at all, but I've seen a lot of different situations, and I think I can draw on a lot of that and, keep from making too many mistakes in most issues.
And you'll take care of us, so in case we haven't make a mistake. Right? I mean, one of the good things that Tim has done for us is kept us out from making some pretty bad decisions too. How much in this last few months that you've been there at Gratiot, because of the embezzlement issue and everything else, is how much of your controller skills have you? What would you say your in this interim period has been percentage-wise administrator controller?
Well, entirely. Every county is unique. Here in Gratiot, I'm not certain, but they might be the #1 leader in alternative energy. We have over 400 windmills, several, wind farms. They have 2 major, third one under construction, solar farms. And they have roughly 25% of the tax base here now, taxable value. Farming is by far the largest piece as it relates to SEV, but when you come to taxable value, residential and this green energy, which is an industrial personal property class, is they're tied at about 25% apiece. And the problem with the green energy is it's subject to depreciation. I don't think they had an appreciation for what that meant to them. They have a pretty healthy fund balance. And I helped them understand with projections that we did what ramifications that decline has in any given scenario with the normal CPI increase in tax base. So, that's extremely valuable to them in that if the tax CPI only goes up a couple of percent, there's a pretty good chance that their tax base is going to go down rather than up. They need to generate about a 4% CPI to get a 2% gain. And through that, we reserved a substantial amount of their existing fund balance to use in those situations so that they'll have time to adjust. It's been a blessing, and if they don't use that money wisely, it can be a curse as well. So that's probably one of the more significant things. We had issues with the county road commission with public or the at-large benefit. I'm suggesting to them that they quit paying all of that, and under the Transportation Act, that should be split 50-50. So I think the experiences that I've had in understanding the equalization process and the tax base and what that means to them and some of these other things that have not been addressed will assist them moving forward. So I guess just the experiences that I've had that I've been able to help shed some light on some of the critical issues for them.
You were hired as an interim.
Yes.
Correct, into Gratiot County. Did you throw your hat in that ring to stay there?
No, I did not. I'm not really interested in starting another career.
So you.
I told her, I thought I was gonna be done with this job the 1st of October, and the forensic audit took longer than they expected, and the recruitment took a little longer than they expected. So I've kind of been here longer than I initially planned to. It's gotten into my hunting and fishing time here this fall, but I've made it work. I told them I'd stay here to help them through this, and I have. I understand that you're looking for a part-time, just a few months. I would be capable and willing and happy to do something like that, but I'm not looking to start another career at my age, and I don't want to do that.
Okay, so
I am willing.
if you were to help us out for 3 or 4 months, something like that,
Yes, I would do that.
you think next year you might take on another interim job for 3, 4 months someplace else?
I don't know.
We'd do your retirement job then, huh?
No, I wouldn't say that. But I'm not making any major commitments from 3 to 4 months out. It's
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Commissioner Wiltie.
Thanks for being with us tonight, Ryan. I know your experience says a lot for me. I'm the county administrator controller in Clinton County for 21 years. It's really impressive. So obviously you know what it takes to get the job done. With you living in DeWitt, we're really not even 100% sure exactly what's going to be best, whether it be 2-3 days a week. What would your availability be? How many days a week? And would you think about maybe just getting a hotel room around here for a few nights a week? And I know obviously Tim's taken over in Gratiot. How soon would you be able to start here?
Well, I'll probably be done here in Gratiot about December 2nd. I'm planning, we've had discussions with the board, so December 2nd will probably be my last official day ever spending any time here with the county. Shortly thereafter, I would be available to start work. Ideally, I'm not saying this is the only way I can do it, but ideally I would drive up there, work a day, take an accommodation for an evening, work the next day, and be available remotely, another 8 hours a week. If it was absolutely necessary, I could stay over 2 nights a week, but I hope that would be the exception rather than the rule. The situation that you're in, as I understand it, your budget's adopted. Tim has helped you immensely. I can keep pretty good track and help you with any critical issues or substantial issues that you have and still assist with those types of things. But I am not interested in 40 plus hours a week for a few more months. I mean, that's kind of what I've been doing here, and that's not really workable for me through the winter months.
Any more questions? Yeah.
No. Thank you, Ryan.
Clerk, do you have any questions?
So today is November 13th. We have Tim till the 21st, and then you say that you wouldn't want to start here until December 2nd.
Well, Tim's starting here December 1st.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to be preparing the agenda and the packet and such, be involved with that for the December 2nd meeting. And that's, Tim's coming here. I'd like to have they've asked me to have some discussions with him with some of the issues that we've been working on, and some of the, there's a lot of work to be done here yet. I mean, it's government, and a lot of things need to be tuned. And so they've asked me to, help with that transition. I know Tim's a skilled, experienced fellow. I'm not going to need to hold his hand, but they have those discussions on the administrator perspective, so to speak. And I guess that's the plan, unless it's, I can't, if you demand or need something else, I would be happy to consider that, but that's kind of the discussions I've had with board leadership here.
Okay, yeah, my thought, or I guess, yeah, my thought would be, what about us in the meantime? That might not be a you question, though.
Treasurer, do you have any questions?
I do, if you don't mind.
Nope, go ahead.
Good evening, Karen Swarovski, the Ogemaw County Treasurer. You have an amazing resume here, but I would like to know what your strength as a administrator controller in the management perspective. Is your strength in budget and finance? Is it more a greater strength in policy making and assisting the board in making policy? Where is your greatest strength at?
Well, I think it's probably pretty similar across those units there. I don't think one outweighs the other in my world. I've been pretty effective in the things that I need to do throughout my career, and I don't know that I'm better at one than another. Maybe I should be a better self-critic, but I can't really pinpoint anything that stands out above another.
Thank you.
I have one more question.
Go ahead.
Hey, Ryan, Charles Wilks again. So kind of back to what Breck was just asking. So I understand that around the 2nd of December will be your last day in Gratiot. Could you try to give us somewhat of a specific idea? I mean, are you thinking the 2nd week of December you'd be able to start? I just would like to know a closer time frame of when you feel you could start here.
Well, if you wanted me to come up later that week for a day or two, I could probably do that. I mean, I'm not certain of your needs and desires, but ideally, I mean, I'm open to that discussion. I don't want to shut a door unnecessarily.
Anything else, Commissioner Wiltie?
No.
Again, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your interest in this position. Do you have a desired rate of compensation for this position?
Well, I would like $100 an hour, and I would hope that at least half of the transportation costs would be covered, along with accommodation for a hotel room, that if it was at least one night a week, if that's your desire for me to stay over like that. Simple as that.
Any questions for us?
Yeah, I mean, what's your primary need the next few months here? I know you're starting the recruitment process. I spoke with Chet time on the phone. Is that process underway now?
It is actually, Chet is here. He's going to deliver a time frame that we're looking at along with a posting, and he did have a time today to meet with elected officials, department heads, to see what they are looking for, and has started that communication. So
you're thinking 3 to 4 months, probably.
probably closer to, probably we're hoping 2, but probably closer to 3.
Yeah, well, I understand that.
All the holidays approaching and.
Right. Is there any particular concerns that you have or needs that you're looking for in the next or the interim position? I've looked at your website. I looked at your audits. I've tried to familiarize myself with the operation as best I can from the research I was able to do on your website and some other readings. But is there some
We have adopted our
issue that
budget.
you're dealing with now?
We have adopted our budget. Most of, I think there's one more negotiation that's being worked on, but we have a closed session tonight, so hopefully that is resolved. All of our major issues, the only other thing we really have is we have a new audit firm this year that we have hired, so there will be a little bit of a learning curve there. We have some renovation projects going on here with the county building. A lot of things have happened over this past year, but right now we're definitely headed in a good direction. We have a budget committee that meets fairly frequently that has really helped. We're headed in a good direction. We're just looking for someone to keep us afloat and continue to head in that direction until we hire somebody full time.
Yeah, well, knowing that, I've had extensive collective bargaining experience, and in my time in Clinton County, we built a new courthouse, renovated and expanded a jail, built a new health facility, new maintenance facility, bought over 300 acres of park lands with water. So I have extensive experience in capital projects. So if that helps, I would offer that experience as well.
Any other questions for us?
Just one more quick one. Ryan Charles here again. So when you say 1 to 2 possible days, how many hours are you figuring you would at least be here per day then?
Well, when I'm there, I'd be there at least 8. And, again, it's a little hard for me. I'm not certain what you feel your needs are. When I spoke with Chad, he thought it was probably a half-time, 24 hour a week job. So if it's something other than that, if you advise me, I'd have to think a little more about that. But that was kind of the general outline that I understood when I offered or said I was interested in a position. Yes. But
Yeah,
again, I don't intend to slam the door on you like I'm angry that I wouldn't consider something else. But
Right.
No, but that's what our conversation has been around, primarily a part-time intern, just until we're able to fill this full-time. But we do have deliberation after our last interview here, so we'll have more concrete information, I believe, after tonight.
yeah. Okay. No, I think I'm good. Thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And last, we have Fabian. Fantastic.
Sure.
No. Yes. Do we need a quick recess? We're gonna take a quick recess. I guess. Break. Go ahead.
Go for it.
This is important. Don't want you missing any of it.
Yes.
What happens when you select the interim? There's a motion made to authorize the chairperson or whoever you choose to enter into negotiations with X candidate. And then if you wish, either Tim or I, what I normally do is just act as an in-between between two, and then come up with a recommendation. The board would have to approve the contract. We have a sample contract that your law firm has drafted already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
Just filling in the blanks.
thank you.
Thank you.
I see no better than what to do.
The next candidate we have is Fabian. Want to come on up, sir? I'm gonna kill your last name. How do you pronounce that? Niyazaki? Not as bad as it looks. I appreciate your interest in this position. I appreciate you making an appearance tonight. Can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Sure. I graduated from Aquinas College, ESBA in accounting. I worked for 3 years in a CPA firm as a CPA, primarily auditing local units of government, counties, townships, and cities primarily. I was hired as a finance director for Rapids and served there for 2 years, and then promoted to city manager. And after about 1.5 years as city manager, Mason County, which is my hometown county, created county administrator's position, and I applied for that and was successful in obtaining that position and held it for 31 years until I retired last January. And since January, I've been doing some financial consulting with a couple of counties, Basin County and another county at this point.
I'm gonna allow each one of the commissioners to ask a question if you don't mind.
Sure.
Commissioner Serbrook.
What do you believe the most important responsibility of an interim county administrator would be?
I think the most important thing is to make sure that projects have been started, can continue and the county not fall behind things that are important to them. And depending on the county, that can be building projects, that can be making sure that the budget is staying, within budget and the finances are moving as they should be.
Keep us on track where we are so we don't make a right turn or a left turn in the wrong direction.
Exactly.
What would your approach be to establishing and maintaining a good working relationship with the Board of Commissioners?
I think we'd start with a meeting with the commissioners to identify the things that are important for the administrator to be working on during this 3-month period, and making sure that I understand what your priorities are.
So what our expectations of you are and what your expectations of us are.
Exactly.
Very good. How would you effectively keep the commissioners, staff, whether they be elected or appointed officials, apprised of what's the issues within the county?
My typical practice on communication is either through phone calls or emails. But what I would probably do is have a discussion with Tim before he left to see how this board likes to communicate with the position. And so that I can adapt how I communicate to the way the board likes to communicate it to.
What Tim does, and I think it's really important, is the fact that Tim has regular staff meetings with the elected officials and the appointed department heads, and then comes back and reports to us the results of those, and so that's very effective. And then so
what I was going to suggest as far as with the elected officials and appointed is what I've done with other counties is during the first week that I was working with the county, we would have a meeting with the elected officials, department heads, and get that relationship started.
Commissioner McHugh.
How many days a week you want to work?
Well, because I have commitments with other counties, one of the weaknesses of me in the position would be that I can only commit on site 3 days a week. I can commit remotely the other 2 days if something comes up that needs to be addressed before I come back on those 3 days.
Our meetings are on Thursday nights.
Thursdays would be working out. I anticipated either doing Tuesday through Thursday or Wednesday through Friday for the 3 days of being on site.
Okay.
And
The
so
other thing is,
evening meetings would not be an issue.
we're not, I'm not gonna say we're not professionals, but we are full-time politicians.
Sure.
Tim tells us quite often that we have to do it this way. What we are doing is not right. And that's something that we'll probably need
Right.
the rest of the time.
And that's something that I guess one of my characteristics that can be viewed as a good point or a negative point. Some people don't like to hear their position being countered, but I've always felt that my position as an administrator is to give the board the best information that I have. And if the board decides to follow it, great. If they decide to go a different route, that's your prerogative as a board. But I would not be afraid of saying, I think that you're heading in the wrong direction on this, but.
Well, he tells us you gotta do it this way. Same thing, but do it this way and you're okay. Okay.
Commissioner Scott.
So you grew up in the Ludington area,
Yeah.
free soil, you went to free soil.
Yes.
So Eaton Rapids was,
That's down by Lansing.
right, so. And then Mason, it's in Mason County,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. 3,000.
So what took you to Eaton Rapids from
Well,
Free Soil?
I was, after college, I actually spent 2.5 years in Colorado at the Olympic Training Center. I was an Olympic trials athlete at the time. But when I came back, I got a job with the CPA firm in Lansing. Eaton Rapids was one of our clients, and I was assigned to their position. A new board got elected, and on the first meeting, the new board fired the city manager, who was also the city clerk and city treasurer.
Oh,
And after doing that, they realized we don't have anybody that knows how to do the audit, prepare for the audit.
sorry.
But so they called CPA firm that I worked with and said, could you send somebody out to help us get prepared for the audit? And I was assigned to do that. And
One step led to another, to another, to another.
Exactly.
So did you just retire recently this year?
January of this.
Oh, January this year.
This year, yes.
So you felt that you were retired up to now?
I'm retired, but I've been working consulting since.
So people have been calling you up
Yes, people have been calling me up.
and asking you for advice and this and that and everything else. Do you think that you're gonna like coming here to be an interim?
I think that I would enjoy it. I'm the other county other than Mason I'm working with is Presque Isle.
Oh, that's true. I heard that. You're up in Presque right now, or just recently was up there to help out on an interim basis.
On the interim basis, yes.
So,
What happened there is they had a new board, 5-member board. 4 members were new, a new county clerk. The new county clerk completely got rid of the old staff. And then hired people that don't have a lot of experience in county government. And then in August had a stroke and has been off the job.
oh
And
boy.
August, they don't have a county administrator. And so they brought me, they're on a June 30th year end, so they brought me in to get the financials ready for their audit, which was completed.
Now, how did they find you?
Actually, there's an organization called MME,
Yeah,
and they
executives.
yeah, they contacted a gentleman that was a current member of MME to see if he could do it. He couldn't do it, and he recommended me to their vice chair. The vice chair called me, asked me if I'd come to their board meeting to discuss the position and my background, which I did, and they hired me.
So, how long do you have up there, or are you done?
I'm winding down. I probably will still go there from time to time.
On like Monday and Tuesday?
Yes,
And Wednesday, Thursday, Friday here?
Right.
Okay. So you're not needed at home right now. Okay,
Not much going on in the winter.
okay, so, I don't have to ask you about controller. You got an accounting background.
Yes.
That's your
That's
background.
my specialty.
You're a bean counter.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
Commissioner Murphy.
great.
I know your area well. My sister and family are from Scottsville.
Oh, okay.
Beautiful area over there. 31 years as administrator there at Mason County.
Yes.
Very, very impressive. So obviously, you know what you need to do, you know, for county government, and I know Mason County financially is one of the poorest counties in the state, isn't it?
Or if you talk about the county government, no, we are not anymore.
No.
We were 31 years ago.
Okay.
We're to the point of the state coming in to take over because we had a landfill that had a huge deficit, but right now If you go online and look at our audit report, I think you would be impressed with the financial position of the county.
So you took that over basically when you started.
Yes. Yeah, I was the first administrator and had a very supportive board that allowed me to create the position as I saw fit, and they supported me, and it worked through some real tough times the first few years, but we gradually built on that. And I think you would agree that if you looked at online at our audit report, that we're in excellent financial shape.
That's great. Well, 31 years, that's really impressive. So you said availability wise, though, I mean, pretty much because your Mondays and Tuesdays, you're on Presqu'île.
Yeah, I know that Thursday was your meeting date, so I wanted to set my 3 days.
Right.
Based on, so I still do a little bit of work with Mason County and also a little bit with Presqu'île now. But the bulk of the work with Presqu'île is done.
So if you got this intern position, you'd stay in a hotel over here?
Yes.
Couple nights?
Yes.
Okay. And then how soon would you be able to start?
I could start whenever you needed me.
I mean, you could start as early as next Wednesday?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate you being here.
Clerk, have you done any research on Ogemaw County?
I've did a little, not a lot. I listened to your last meeting, so I'm aware that you had a very good year financially, so congratulations on that. And that you have some building projects that you're looking to finish up. My knowledge of the area is basically related to the state police post. I had a president that was at the post for a number of years. And so I got familiar with the area through him, but I have a lot of knowledge about the county.
It sounds kind of like 31 years ago, you were in the same position you were in 2 years ago. I think that would be beneficial for us. I mean, what do you feel like was your biggest accomplishment throughout those whole 30? Yeah.
I guess I take pride in 3 things. One, their financials were a mess, and we're now in excellent financial shape. Our billings, because the county was in poor financial shape at that time, were very run down. And we've either renovated or replaced every building that the county has in that time. And then I think the final thing that I take pride in is when I came to the county, the workforce was very demoralized. And I think we went from a group of people that had their own little kingdoms, and they focused on what was important to their office, which isn't a negative. That's what they're elected to do. But there wasn't anybody that looked at the whole county as a big picture.
Right.
And I was able to, over the years, get everybody to look at it in the big picture, focus on making sure that they're providing the services that they needed to do, but also realize that they're part of a bigger picture. And I think if you talk to people over in Mason County, they would agree that we've got more of a family group attitude towards government rather than 10, 12 different departments doing their own thing.
Right. Treasurer.
Yes, we've been in the hallway. I just have a couple of things.
Sure.
One, being that you're a CPA, we have a new accounting audit firm coming in.
Okay.
So that would not be a challenge for you. You can help us get settled in with our new audit team. Can you briefly describe your management style?
As my management style is to try to get as much information about an issue as possible. And then bring people to the table that can help me get that information. And then make the best recommendation to either the department head or the elected official or the county board that I think would take us in the right direction. I'm hands-on, and I'm not afraid to do work. I'm not the type of person that has big ideas and tells somebody else to do the work. I'm hands-on in my efforts.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What is your desired rate of compensation?
My compensation that I currently have is $100 an hour. And that includes travel time and expenses,
That includes
but I should say plus expenses.
plus,
Yes.
so $100.
Which the only expense that I would look at is motel.
It would be $100 an hour plus hotel.
$100 an hour plus hotel and mileage. I forgot about the mileage. Is what I currently am receiving from my clients.
Hourly plus mileage if you're driving here?
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
Say that again?
You're driving here, it's costing me $100 an hour for you to drive here.
right.
And plus I'm gonna give you mileage on top of that.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for us?
I guess, what is your initial expectation of me as the administrator, or as the interim administrator?
Well, this is, Tim was our first individual in a administrator position. Originally the role was an administrator, and then I believe 2 years ago, it became an administrator / controller position.
Okay.
So, we recently got word that he'll be leaving us, so, we are now seeking a new individual for this position. We're not exactly sure what this position is going to be, whether administrator / controller yet. But in the meantime, an interim to just keep us moving in the positive direction, keep everything afloat until we're able to fill that position. We're probably looking at about a 12-week time period, according to Chet, to get a person, the right person.
Sure.
In that position. We don't, and around the holidays, we don't want to make any quick decisions. But we're just looking for an interim, somebody that has background, basically right now to just keep us headed in the right direction. So somebody that's able to communicate with us, county commissioners, along with the department heads and elected officials. So.
I just got one.
To add to that, go ahead.
Well, first off, I want to really thank you for being here in person.
Mhm.
That means a lot to me. So thank you for that. And then I know I'd ask you, but I just want to make sure. So you said that if we would go with your services, you would be here ready to report to work next Wednesday?
I could be here next Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Hey, board deliberation. Thoughts? This is an open meeting, correct?
It is. Yeah. Well,
Thoughts, Commissioner Wiltie,
I'll start.
Commissioner Scott, whoever.
Go ahead, go ahead.
So mine, hands down, I don't even need to even think about it anymore. My number one is who we just spoke with. My number two is Susan, and my number three is Ryan. I just really liked, I mean, obviously 31 years as administrator over there at Mason County, to me, really paints the picture. I mean, he understands it. I liked his accounting background. Seems to me like he's a go-getter. I mean, he's been retired not very long, and you can see how busy he is. I was kind of concerned that maybe he'd be pulled away too much, but I just think he's a very passionate person, enjoys working, I think enjoys what he's doing, and I think he'd be a great intern for us.
Commissioner Scott.
I'm gonna echo Charles, and most of everything there. I am impressed that the man did show up here. I think Zoom is a great thing, and it's a great tool to use. And it does save a lot of driving around. But I'm very impressed with him coming here. It's just as Chet told us, this is gonna be a tough decision. It is. There's three very well educated, diverse choices in front of us. But just like any other job, application out there, you gotta pick one. I like, Mr. Kizaki.
Isaac.
All right, I'll keep working on that. Yes, I am impressed with what I just heard. I think that he can come here and hit the ground running. And, his accounting background, there's no doubt that the reason why we're in the position we are now is because of Tim's accounting attributes and whatever title you want to call it, but it's the numbers that got us here. And to take us out of the deficit numbers to the plus numbers. And I just want to keep the ship rolling that way. And then when we look at the more permanent choice, that's where I'm gonna be looking, is that number side of it. For the most part. So my vote's there.
Commissioner Davis, can I just add on one more thing?
Sure.
I really like the fact too that you'd be able to start next Wednesday. That would give 3 full days of working hand in hand with Tim. I think that would be.
If I could just interject, I'm not going to be here Wednesday.
Okay, Thursday and Friday then.
Yeah.
He's still showing.
2 full days.
Commissioner Mayhew.
I believe he did a great job. But my thinking is it's gonna be part-time. And we're not gonna be attached at the hip. He's gonna be here till we get the next one. And then they've all said they all 3 can do the job. And I'm not saying that because she's the cheapest, that's the way to go, but I'm looking after the county's money, and if they can all do the same job, the least amount of money, that's where I'm at.
Commissioner Serbrook.
I think that I definitely agree with Commissioner Wiltie and Commissioner Scott. I love the availability. That's why, I mean, we're basically talking everybody in the same price range. To be able to have, somebody to spend 1 or 2 days with Tim before Tim leaves us, I think I don't think it's enough, but it's at least some transition time. The others, we would have no transition time at all, even though I know Tim would be available via phone. Again, your resume is impeccable. I mean, my God, love the CPA aspect of it. You sure you don't want a full-time job? So that's where I'm at.
Clerk.
I don't have a second or third choice. It's hands down for me, him.
Treasurer.
I ranked him in the same order as Commissioner Wiltie, and I especially like the CPA background.
Tim, I'm going to put you on the spot because I believe you know all 3 of these candidates and you know this county. And so my question to you is from a professional standpoint, who do you think would fit best in this position?
I'm going to have to respectfully decline. Because I take seriously the canons of the ICMA. And one of the explicit statements there is that I don't have a vote, I don't have a say. I will say, as I've said in the past, and reflecting what others have already said here tonight, all 3 of them can do the job.
Correct.
And no doubt about that. So whoever you choose, be right.
I'm going to agree with both everybody here. 100%. That is my ranking as well. I am going to agree also with Commissioner Mayhew. There is a pretty big cost difference. The good thing is you're looking at overnight, you're looking at travel, and you're looking at $100 an hour. It's not just a flat rate of $100 an hour. The good thing is this is short term. So there is quite a cost difference there, but I'm going to agree pretty hands down, and especially this individual took the time out of his schedule, the interest to show in our county by making the drive here. That definitely spoke volumes along with his interview. So I am going to agree with that choice. Did you have something else?
Yeah, Monday I talked with Tim and I said, why don't you make a phone call up to Quality Inn and see what kind of rate we could get for 3 nights a week for 3 months. Or any variable of that. We did that, I believe, for MML.
We did.
When they came here. So, and we picked up that cost straight out. So it wasn't a stipend. That was an unused stipend or something like that. We paid for it.
With 3 days here, it should only be 2 nights.
Yeah, well, I said 3 because didn't know. I'm just saying that, you know, maybe Thursday night, they'd like to just stay the night and then drive home Monday or Friday morning rather than leave here at 7:30 going to Ludington.
So I think this is, now we start the negotiation process. We all picked a candidate. I think the majority of us agreed upon. So now is when we start, after us, there is a contract that is drawn up that our legal team has looked at. There's a couple blank lines, but this is up as far as compensation for negotiations. So who typically negotiates? Can you be our representative? Are you guys okay with that?
Yeah. Absolutely. I'll put it in the motion.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll move that we hire Mr. Kizaki. Fabian as our interim administrator. And have our current administrator negotiate the agreement with him. And starting, what is it? Wednesday, the 19th.
Tim's not gonna be here.
Thursday.
Well, why can't he come here?
No, I'm just saying, no. I'm not arguing with you.
I will have auditors here, so it might be helpful to have.
Perfect.
They
Yeah,
can meet-
auditor here, department heads are here.
Yeah.
I think, show up afternoon so we can save a couple of bucks.
The one thing I am gonna say is which I guess was probably part of negotiations, but I do have something to say about this compensation. So I'll talk to you about that later.
Well, that's my motion.
I will support Mr. Scott's motion.
Motion Commissioner Scott, support from Commissioner Serbrook. Discussion? Any discussion?
Well, you had a couple of things you were gonna say.
Well, I do, but I think that's privately, that's part of negotiations. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
think it needs to be,
No, I think
right,
I
correct?
think we've said it.
I think you've established the parameters in your conversation here, as I understand it, but you know, you'll get a chance to look at this, and if it's not what you want to do, you can say no, and
Well, I don't agree with paying mileage and paying somebody to drive here. Once they get here, they work 8 hours. I don't disagree with that, but I don't agree with paying mileage on top of time to drive to the facility. But that we can talk about. You see what I'm saying?
Well, you want them to start before the next meeting, so you better start talking to them.
Can we ask them right now if there's some options here?
Is that part of negotiation? How does this work, Tim?
you can, because you're a public body, I mean, it would be very appropriate to talk to the candidate,
I
and
guess, is that a deal breaker? How do you feel, do you feel comfortable discussing this?
I guess I'd feel comfortable discussing that. Guess what are you proposing?
I don't disagree with $100 an hour, and I don't disagree with the mileage and the hotel, expense, but as far as like your drive here, I don't agree with the, from Ludington, correct? That's how far an hour?
Two.
Woo!
Yeah, it's Manistee, 2 hours. And
I
then-
mean, I don't agree. I agree with the mileage. I agree with the hotel expense, but I don't agree with paying you hourly to drive here. Once you're here, yes, the hourly, but not the drive time here and there to there.
Okay,
Settle on 3 hours?
what's that?
3 hours total drive time in a week? You're not gonna go back and forth every day.
No,
Oh,
No, so it's a trip here and a trip back.
right.
You give you 3 hours worth in a week,
what do you mean?
paying for 3 hours of travel time in a week.
We're
I'm trying to
paying
come up with a
mileage.
compromise.
We're paying mileage.
Okay, well,
It's $100 an hour,
I'm,
plus a hotel room.
I get that, but Craig's willing to compromise for a little bit more.
My deal.
Wait a minute,
So,
it's 5 votes here. It's 5 votes.
If you have an individual who's willing to accept that, this is a conversation that's on the table right now. So I'm not
Okay.
sure why
All right.
you're adding to it.
I'm just asking the man if he'd take a compromise.
He didn't say no to the deal that it was offered,
Okay. Go ahead.
sir. Question. That was the question. $100 an hour hotel mileage to and from. 3 days a week.
I would take Commissioner Scott's compromise.
Sorry, I said something.
Well, it
Is he gonna take less?
it wasn't out of line, but
If I wasn't on the line, I wouldn't be here.
just wait. Okay. Are you guys, what are you guys' thoughts on that?
I'm fine with it.
I guess I'm good with it. That's where we are. So
Thank you, sir.
that's what we want.
Okay, we have unfinished, where are we, unfinished business, Chet.
Oh, we got a motion and a
Oh,
second
I'm
on the
sorry.
floor.
We do. Roll call vote.
Greg Scott.
Wait a minute now, just to make clear, it's an hourly rate. It's mileage. We're gonna provide some type of housing or a stipend for it. Plus 3 hours a week travel time.
At $100 an hour.
Yes. That's the motion. All right, yay.
Jenny David.
Yes.
Roger Mayhew.
No.
Charles Wiltie.
Yes.
Mark Serbrook.
Yes.
Unfinished business, Chet, come on up, sir.
Good evening. Well, since October 30th, when I came here last, sent you numerous emails. Probably read them and you've got a long day already. So in terms of a timeline, a couple of decisions that need to be made first, but I'm optimistic we make a decision here this evening or next week. We get the posting out as early as the end of next week. But with my first memo, it's on the right-hand side. That was the draft timeline. Basically, the posting could go out as early as next week. The media package advertising would start depending either next week or the week after, depending when you make a decision. Deadline would be December 29th. On January 2nd, you've given a list of a packet of the applications. We can talk about whether you want all of them or a list of just for the qualified candidates. My past experiences, you'll get a lot of non-qualified candidates. Now, most people apply online. Very easy for someone just to press a button and send a resume in. So with more online applications, you'll get quite a few that probably do not meet the qualifications. Some commissioners want to see all the applications. Some commissioners say, just give us your top X number. So we can talk about that. That's down the road. If that happens, you could have a meeting the week of January 5th to select who you wish to interview. You can do the interview as early as January 12th, first round. I'm a big advocate of doing a second round, more of a dialogue, have a meet and greet with the staff, just for the finalists. The week of January 12th, and depending how comfortable you are, you can make a decision as early as that week and enter into negotiations with someone. My experience is usually negotiations don't take more than a week, so in theory, it could be done with a candidate in place by the end of January. Now, that doesn't mean that person can start at the end of January, obviously. That's where the transition comes in, depending on what their schedule is, their circumstances, family. That's why I'm telling the interim candidates 3 to 4 months, just gives them that time period. The decisions you need to make is you want the job posted as administrator, controller, just administrator. That's one. 2 is the salary range for the position. I'm a big advocate that you have to have a range out of fairness to the board and a fairness to people what's in the job. And 3, whether you want a requirement that they live within X miles of the county. By law, you can't require them to live in the county. You can require them to live within a 20-mile radius of the borders of the county. For some commissioners, that's a big deal. Some counties, other counties say, we don't care about that, let's just get the best candidate. So that's a decision that you need to make. But to get the process started, 2 things you need to do is 1, how do you want to classify this position? Is it administrator only? Or do you want it as administrator / controller? Because it does make a difference on the type of candidates that apply. to a salary range for the position.
You'd like these answers tonight, correct?
Well, today or next week, it's up to you. If you approve that, if you answer those tonight, we can start the process as early as next week posting. If you want to think about it, make a decision next week, it'll push it back a week.
Commissioner Serbrook.
In all honesty, because I was on vacation and really didn't get a chance to really sit down and digest everything, I would prefer if we make that decision next week.
Commissioner Reagan.
That's only because I was gone.
It don't matter to me.
Commissioner Serbrook or Scott.
I'm on vacation next week. I won't be here, but I'm gonna tell you right now. I said it last meeting, if I was more aware of I knew what a controller was and I knew what an administrator was. When we first started this process, I didn't understand how the two combined together, because working in the private district, I had a general manager and I had a controller that sat in the next office over. If I knew how the administrator controller would have worked in the beginning, I would have 100% went for an administrator controller. All the things that has happened in the last 5 years, the really big things that have pulled us out of the depth and then brought us up on top is controller. It is the numbers. It's the accounting numbers. Matter of fact, I would say controller / administrator, because controller, I think, is 60-40 on a split, and it's 60% controller. Tim brought it to us and explained how it gave more authority to having that position, gave more authority to how he could operate, and it absolutely was. So if you're gonna make a decision next week, mine is administrator controller, hands down. And we're gonna gather from a bigger pool of applicants. If we just go for administrators, I think that you're really limiting yourself. And if you think that you bring on somebody as a administrator, and then you're going to boost them up like this is an increase or a promotion. Well, if they don't have the skills for controller, you're not going to promote somebody without skills. We need the skills right off the bat and have it right there. And the last job I had, I'll tell a story. The last job I had was parts manager. And when I went in for the the job, he says, well, what I'm going to do is start you out as the clerk, Craig. It's $2 an hour more. I says, no, I wouldn't have answered the ad for clerk. I answered the ad for parts manager. I'm a manager. And that's what I came here for. And as it was, he said, you're right. I advertised for a manager. That's what you answered for. Sure, there's a break-in period, but if you're a good manager, the break-in period is quick. Controller's the same way, administrator, controller. That's what brought us out, and I believe that's what's going to keep our ship going. So if you don't decide tonight, that's my decision for next week, even if I'm not here.
Commissioner Wiltie.
I'm ready and prepared for my opinions on all these questions, but out of matter of respect for Commissioner Serbrook, he has been gone. I'm fine with 1 week, and I'm probably a lot finer with saying that right now because of the confidence that I have in our interim. I'm really happy with the decision we made there. And I know I've been very impressed with how we've realized the importance of keeping this momentum and getting this position filled. But I have a lot of confidence in him after meeting with him tonight. And I don't want to rush this. So I think we're okay to wait 1 week. But back to the administrator controller, I was very adamant last week. I think it's very, very important right off the bat for this to be an administrator controller. I think obviously what Tim has done, especially the last 2 years, I mean, we're the ones that have to make the decisions, but what he's been able to bring to the table to us has helped us put us in this financial position that we're in now, which we haven't seen in a long, long time. So I think it's really important. And then on top of that, I understand your guys, especially Commissioner David, Commissioner Mayhew, your guys' concerns about, we really don't know this person, the risk. I understand that. But I'm telling you, like at our budget meeting this morning, we have a group of people that are so passionate and care about what we're doing. And we're so excited about seeing these numbers and the direction we're heading. We're not going to let somebody come in here and ruin that. And on top of that, I have a ton of faith in Karen. Karen is going to be very involved. And if we would see anything that doesn't look right, we'd be immediately called to the table. But I think it's so important that this position starts off immediately with the controller as well.
I appreciate the opinions, and I think we all have different opinions on that, and we all need to respect them. I appreciate this information that you have sent us, which has been a lot over this past week. You gave us 33 other counties, and out of those 33, only 9 were administrators/controllers.
And if you look at the statewide, that's about the average. If you look, there's 83 counties in.
Yeah, so I appreciate the information. I counted them up. I counted how many you gave us. There's only 9 on here that are actually administrators/controllers. I'm going to mimic some of the comments that Commissioner Wiltie said. We do have a budget committee, and it sounds like they are working very, very, very well together, along with department heads, elected officials that do an excellent job of staying within their means. I definitely don't want to take that autonomy or anything away from them. I think they all do very well. I'm going to stick with my original idea of starting with an administrator and looking at an individual like the candidate we just are the process of hiring with a very strong financial background. And I feel what we did with Tim worked out very, very, very well, is starting with an administrator and then advancing to a controller. So I am firm with that. But I am also going to respect Commissioner Serbuk because he's another voice of waiting another week on this. So.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
So,
There's, go ahead.
Just a matter of being honest in what we have in front of us. So Commissioner Scott's not going to be here next week. We know that you and Commissioner Mayhew are against the controller. Me and Commissioner Serbuk are for the controller.
Commissioner Serbuk did not voice his opinion. He abstained.
Oh, from what I've talked with him this morning at our
I will
budget.
voice my opinion on that position. I do believe that position should be an administrator controller.
So do you want, I guess,
We can vote tonight. I didn't realize that Commissioner Scott was not gonna be here next week. So, I mean, yes, we can vote tonight.
you need a vote on that? We have
Well, if you agree consensus, I'll just proceed.
We have 3 consensus.
Controller.
You have 3 consensus that says administrator says controller. You have 2 that say no. So there's your
So
consensus.
I'll proceed unless the board you take different action. The second thing is the salary range. You have a second memo is an overview. I did a survey of salaries in Michigan. There's 83 counties. I didn't count 83 counties. I went through the ones I had access to and have the record from previous. You have the data here. I kind of gave an outline where the ranges are. And there's 83 counties, 46 have administrators, 26 have either administrator controller or administrator/CFO or some other title that has financial responsibilities. 11 counties do not have at this point. But out of fairness, like I said, out of fairness to the candidates, out of fairness to you, you need to set a realistic range for the position. And so you have the data here. I can tell you the 3 searches because I did 1 interim this year. The base was 100,000. The high end was 140,000. And that was Northern Michigan, lower part of Michigan, and the UP. So if you look at a range, they all varied a little bit, but they all were within the 100,000 to 140. And they ended up, the final candidates all ended up between 125 and 135.
And where was it?
Our current salary for our this position.
The current salary, I believe, is
100,000.
Just over 100.
So opinions, Commissioner Serbuk. Salary range.
This is where I was. I would say probably in the 100 to 120 range.
Commissioner Mayhew.
I wouldn't say any more than we're paying Tim.
Do you have a range?
100.
Commissioner Scott.
110 to 130. You know, I was here right from the get-go, and the big question was how we're gonna pay for them. We can't afford them. And I said all along, the candidate we pick will pay for himself. We were almost $1 million in the hole. Now we're 2 million above. $3 million over the last 5 years we've gained. He has paid for himself 10 times over.
Commissioner Wiltie, I didn't answer your question. Yes, question, which family there were? There were Leonel, Branch, Marquette, and Calcasas.
Commissioner Wiltie, do you have a pay scale range?
100 to 125.
I'm gonna say, I agree with, Tim's at 100 right now after 5 years of being here. I'm gonna say 90 to 110, is my opinion. So. General consensus was, you had two, what was yours, Commissioner Serbrook?
I said 1 to, what did I say, 1 to 120 or 125?
So you two were the one, what did you both say?
Mr. Serbrook was 100 to 120. I was 100 to 125.
Commissioner Scott?
I was 110 to 130. The only reason Tim got up to 100, only 100, is because he only asked for an increase the same as every other department head at the time he asked for it. We didn't give him any more. We didn't offer him anything. He asked for that, and that's what, and we thought that was a bargain. If we gave him 120 then, he might not be leaving now.
Well, it looks like the general consensus is 100 to 120, so I think you've got your
Is that
answers.
everyone comfortable with that?
Yep,
Okay.
those are your answers.
Do you wish to have a clause in there that the person must live within 20 miles of the boundaries of the county?
No,
No.
absolutely.
We got two no's. You were yes, Commissioner Wiltie?
No, I'm sure would like to do, but yeah, it makes sense. No.
I don't think 20, I would feel comfortable saying 50 miles. I think that they should be somebody that's fairly or fairly, have familiarity with the county, have some investment, care about this county, but you have three no's.
That's the interview process. From a legal standpoint, you cannot mandate that you live in the county. The courts have ruled a number of times in the last 20 years, 20 miles is a reasonable requirement.
Yes.
So.
You have three no's.
It's either 20 or nothing. No
I'll
restriction.
take that. I'm hearing that.
No
you want to have
restriction.
restrictions.
You have three no's.
Okay, moving forward, MEDA campaign, I said a couple weeks ago, it'd be about 2,000. I'm very confident they'll be that way. You have a memo here listed.
Yep.
I try to do with local as much as possible. I've been working with Sherry Rock, media, we're going to 3 newspapers here. In this world now, Black Hawk, the record you go to USA Today and sure, they all use job case. The same postings everywhere. So assuming I get the final contracts, but I'm very confident, stay within the $2,000. And we posted, I gave you a memo here of all the online sites, as well as some very professional sites that I would post, but it'll be within that $2,000. I'm very confident of that.
Thank you, sir.
So based on that, I will start next week
Perfect.
and I'll keep you updated. Also, I just don't, there's a little perspective on the county. For some reason, the printer here didn't like my color selection, so you see the colors are all, if you look online, that's a little better. And if you see anything you want to change, I went through the Chamber of Commerce, I went through a lot of media postings about the county, and I tried to highlight the best that I could of the county.
Did you have an opportunity today to meet with department heads and elected officials?
Not with everyone, I met with the treasurer, register of deeds, equalization. I tried twice, you got a very busy day today. Mr. Doheny and I had a great lunch and he gave me a list of projects and
Good.
he's looking for. So it was a very productive day.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for all the communication as well. It is appreciated.
And I'll start next week. I'll keep you updated. You'll probably get weekly updates from me.
Okay.
can be here in person or Zoom is welcome to.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Administrator controller report.
There's a report that's on the iPads tonight. In the interest of time, I will throw any comment on it.
Questions for Tim? Commissioners,
No, I have none right now.
matters from the floor? Motions for adoption?
I'd like to discuss.
Go
I'd
ahead.
like us to make a motion to amend that resolution on district court windows. It's a little conversation, so I was gonna do this in my report today, but I can just talk about it now. So with our county budget meeting this morning, again, you guys have heard me say consistently, the stakeholders that we have, they show up, they're here, they understand the importance of what we're doing. Everyone has bought into this pretty much. I mean, it really is quite amazing what we've done in a short amount of time. You guys have heard me say this many times. Yes, we've had to make some very hard, drastic decisions, but those were decisions that absolutely 100% needed to be made in order for this county to finally head in a position where financially we have consistency and we're heading in the right direction. What is absolutely amazing is when we started talking about the turnaround and we started seeing a fund balance, we knew we still had this negative cash issues and we had a long ways to go. Tim was forecasting that the county would be, after fiscal year 2026, just over $2 million. Well, I can say right now, other than a few little adjustments that need to be made, our county has a fund balance of over $2 million right now. That's almost 23%. I mean, we have done some amazing things, and yes, we have a lot more to be done. We have a lot of things that we still have to continue to work on, but we are heading in the right direction. And then on top of that, maybe Karen, you can add on, because I was surprised too. I've got all this today and I tried looking through it quick, like for our ARPA numbers, to go back to why I'm asking for this resolution of the amendment. How much money do we currently have in ARPA funds that we obviously, if we don't spend them after a certain amount of time, we're going to lose that money?
I did not review ARPA before the meeting. I only looked at the fund balance for Veterans Affairs.
So maybe
Money that we're spending.
Yeah, we're projecting in the neighborhood of 300,000 as we sit here today, but just to frame this, it's not all the ARPA money that came in. This is also all of the interest that's been earned on that over 4 years, however long it's been. And that's quite substantial. So that, well, we have the deadlines that we need to meet with ARPA. Not all of that, I believe, is going to be subject to that deadline because the earnings are what the county earned on that. There are a couple of projects that we had going on. We talked about one today with the GPS units that we installed. I do need to do a little bit of work yet to see if we've expended all of that, because if we haven't, then we can continue to use that for those projects. But we're only talking a few $1,000s. We're not talking, a substantial part of that. So, straight answer to your question is to say roughly 300,000 is a good number to keep in mind, projected as of today.
Right, and we talked in the budget meeting this morning that we know that with these projects, there's things now, since we know we do have that positive extra money, there's something somebody brought up the suggestions we're doing the bathrooms. There's something we weren't thinking about doing, but it needs to be done. Well, we've got the money to do it. So I think this is a perfect example of right now. It's 4 windows at district court, which is part of our building. We have ARPA money that can pay for it. I don't understand why we wouldn't use that money to.
You have a motion. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I think Charles gonna make a motion. So.
He did make a motion, I believe. Did you make a motion, Commissioner Wiltie?
No, he didn't. Not yet.
Oh, I thought he did, because we're at motions for adoption.
I'd like to make a motion that we pay for that specialty custom window at district courts through ARPA funds.
$4,070. I will support the motion.
We have a motion on the floor from Commissioner Wiltie with support from Commissioner Serbrook. Discussion?
The point of order, would the motion then be to amend the resolution?
Amend the resolution.
It was passed to, and I will characterize this change, adding it as a change order to the window project, which gets us into the whole deadline dealing with ARPA to do that. But you've got that resolution there. I think it's important to say you're amending that resolution.
Tim, okay, so we have a motion to amend that motion from Commissioner Wiltie with support from Commissioner Serbrook, correct? Now we're open for discussion. Tim, I guess, so we're looking, just to clarify here, we're looking at $300,000 of the ARPA funds that have not been committed.
Right.
Now, are we able to, because we're talking about tearing down the jail, we're doing a new veterans park, different veterans park. We are talking about the boiler system. There's lots of conversation about the entire building that we've talked about. Those funds we had to turn into the state, projects. Are we able, so say we have monies left over and something goes down, something does happen. Are we able to use those funds even though they weren't dedicated in writing to a specific project? Are we able to do something different?
So there are all sorts of variables involved in this, and I'll have this conversation with the county attorney about it. We do have, our commitment deadline was December 31st of 24, so roughly a year ago, and that's when we had the 4 or 5 projects that we funded. The bulk of what's left over, again, is going to be the interest that's been earned on this fund since we've had the monies. And my understanding is that's county dollars. That's not counted as the ARPA that U.S. Department of Treasury forwarded to us. And so that's why I'm saying, it's short answer to your question is yes, then so at least those interest dollars would be available for these other projects, whatever they might be. But for that core 4.02 million, whatever it was, we did have a deadline as of last year to make that commitment. Window project as an example, that commitment was made, but along with that, we recognize that there are change orders to projects. We fortunately budgeted enough in contingency to handle that 11 additional windows. But this is why I'm maybe being a little artful in characterizing it. It's a change order to a project that's been approved. So, I believe that's going to be clean. And it's only $4,000. So if it's not, there are other sources we can use for the funding. But that's the same with the boiler curb cut out here. That was actually part of the original, one of the options that was given to us for the new secure entrance. So I'm very comfortable saying, yeah, change order, that makes sense. So I don't consider really either of these two to be new projects that would endanger us. There's also a school of thought out there, and I think it's maybe a weak argument, but we did originally commit the entire amount as lost revenue. And that's a term that the Department of Treasury gave us to use. We committed because it was under $10 million grant. We were able to just say the entire thing was lost revenue. Late last year, there were some changes that were made to some of the rules. Some interpretations are, well, you can do that, but you still had to commit to these projects. And it doesn't make logical sense to me because we in effect did. We said it's lost revenue, all of it. So there may be a school of thought that says, okay, there is no danger, use it however we see fit. I like to be cautious. And so that's why I've characterized both of these as change orders to the existing projects. Long-winded way of saying, I think you're safe saying that interest is definitely there available for you to use on jail, air handlers, whatever. I think we're okay. If there were a few $1,000s left over in the core ARPA money, maybe worth the risk. Go ahead and use it. Understanding Treasury might say, well, it's not what we intended. Please give us some money back. All right, so you reserve some fund balance to do that if that were to happen. Otherwise, the safest bet is just to not spend that, not even go there. Not a whole lot of that 300,000 is going to be in that category. So I think I need to give you a breakdown of where each of the projects is, what's outstanding, show you what that interest amount is. And so moving forward, if you want to use additional money for another project, you'll go forward with confidence knowing what that interest, at least number is, and that's safe to spend.
Comments, Commissioner Scott?
Well, we're going to do the window. We're going to do the window. We've already said we're going to do the window. That's passed. Now we're squabbling about what pays for it.
Right.
Holy smokes, I could take money out of the contingency fund. We got enough in that.
Hold on.
We can go and have cookie sales. I don't care. the judge had a very good idea to take it out of ARPA, okay, but we didn't need to. And we can reserve ARPA for these major projects that we got going. And maybe some more. 4,700 coming out of the court budget is not gonna kill the court budget. Even if it does, we got a contingency to jump in there and save the court if they're behind. And I've said that. I don't have a problem with that. I don't understand why we're posturing to pay for it a certain way. I don't get that.
We have a motion to addend something,
Well,
asking everybody's
We're
opinion.
doing discussion right now.
We are, so
Well, that's where I'm at. I'm discussing.
I'm going to agree with you to a point that I think it's kind of senseless. We're fighting, we're having further discussion on $4,000. My argument is because we have not dedicated any of these funds. We've not went to specific departments. We did the building as a whole. We tried for lost revenue, employees, windows, heat, boiling system. Like, we haven't individualized this ARPA funds to department heads. So that was brought up in conversation last week. The window, yes, I agree. We're all in favor. We need to, for what reasons were given to us. But when asked where this money is going to come from, ARPA was stated, and then it was asked, can this come out of their budget? Is the funding there? The answer was yes. That's what we had decided on. So that's my argument. The window needs to happen. If it can come out of the court's budget, that's where it needs to come from. And my rationale is because we haven't individualized this. The other thing is we just thankfully, we had that 10% contingency. Thankfully, there was extra monies there with the project that just got done. We have numerous projects that are still in process. We don't know what extra monies we are going to need at this point. Opinion.
You're correct. And what was it? A year and a half ago? We were 83 out of 83. If we hadn't closed our jail, we would have no $2 million fund balance. That's where it all come from. It wasn't we earned it, we saved it. We killed the jail and, well, not the jail, because we still have a jail, but we have hardly any inmates. We fund them all out. But that's where the money come from. It wasn't that we earned it, saved it. That's where it was on. It was on their back. And if we do this again, we just keep spending. We got no deal to kill to come out.
Commissioner Serbrook.
Again, I supported the motion. I believe it should come out of the ARPA funds.
We have a motion to addend the original motion. Roll call vote.
Jenny David,
No.
Roger Mayhew, Charles Wiltie,
Yes.
Mark Serbrook,
Yes.
Craig Scott.
No.
Commissioner reports. Commissioner Serbrook.
I was on vacation a couple of times, so I missed all three of my townships. I sat on the negotiation committee for District Health Department number 2, and I'm happy to say that we settled a contract with that union in 43 minutes.
Wow.
So that was a good thing. We had, Commissioner Wilson touched on, we had budget meeting this morning that I attended. Great meeting, and I can't say enough for everybody that sits on that committee. I think it's team effort, and everybody's doing a great job watching their budgets, having input in. I think we met for like an hour and a half this morning. We had a lot of good roundtable discussion about a lot of different topics. Super important, obviously, we've done a great job with it. We had opioid this afternoon as well. Commissioner Woolsey is the chair of that. I'll let him get into the specifics of it, but we have made some decisions about where we're headed with our meeting schedule and some other things. So we've awarded those projects. Their contracts are waiting to be signed, I do believe, Tim. They haven't been signed yet, have they?
No, not yet.
Yeah, contracts not been signed, so we're getting there with the ARPA funds, or the opioid funds, excuse me. We're talking about ARPA now, anyway. So we're real confident on where we're headed with the opioid funding right now, the projects that we have awarded on the RFPs. So again, I'll let Commissioner Wiltsey expound on our plans for our meetings and reporting requirements from the grantees of those awards. So.
Commissioner Mayhew.
Oh, I went to West Branch if I can find it. But went to Rose City and they're back. They're having trouble with the dump again. It seems to be most of the townships. The dumps is not a good deal. It don't make money. West Branch Township, their fire coverage, their percentage doubled. And they said that whatever it is that they do this, they're one of the highest paying townships. And theirs was considerably a lot. It went from 60 to 120,000. The sheriff was there. He said, I believe they'll be full staffed in December 7th.
Wow.
And we're supposed to have a dog catcher next week. He's been riding around with the deputies, I guess, finding out where the roads are and how the county lays, so that's a good thing. The 24-hour road patrol is supposed to be soon. And I got that, and we got 3 patrol cars that are messed up right now. We got 2 with trannies out and 1 with a water pump out of it. That was it for that one. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Commissioner Scott.
Well, law enforcement was this afternoon. We went over the car situation and things. Couple of these cars had been parked for well over a year now. I don't know why we haven't auctioned them off, but we do have a couple of recent ones that have gone down. About the 2 new Tahoes are in. One has already been striped. The car for K9 is now one that is suffering a transmission issue and engine issues, so it's going to get retired. So one of the new Tahoes are going to be outfitted for the dog. The dog is living in retirement at home right now because there's nothing for him to ride around in, I guess. Yeah, most of what's going on status quo at the corrections and sheriff's department. The early December date was conveyed to us more like mid-September, wasn't it? Anyway, and this new cadet will only be riding with others for a number of weeks. So to see 24-hour. I don't think is going to happen just yet. I think probably into January. Parks and Rec was this morning. We voted to terminate our agreement with the caretaker at the nature park. Park is right now closed because of the rut season. Commissioner Serbrook and I went up there today and had a talk with the caretaker and presented him with the letter of termination. So we have a contingency plan how to feed the deer for the short term while we will take a look at hiring somebody else on the longer term. We don't know the condition of the house right now, whether or not somebody can move right back in again or not. I don't know. But we're geared up for all the water shut down in the hall, and we're gearing for the winter season there. The RV park, we opened a bid for the electrical services for the park on Monday. We got 1 bidder for the electrical. We put together the rest of the plan for for the DNR grant. Because the DNR has to look at all the bids and then approve those bids before we can award them. You got that stuff today, didn't you? Yeah. So we're within budget right now and for the grant and the money that the West Branch Township DDA has said that they've put up for it. So and then there's a cell tower company that would like to put a cell tower on the park's property. We're working with them. They have talked with the township because ultimately the township owns the property. We're just leasing it from them. So not sure if we're gonna 100% have the tower on it. And then if that's the case, but I'm not sure yet if there's gonna be a split between payment for this tower to the township and to us, or we're gonna get all or some or none, or don't know right yet. So a couple of things happening on that. I have not attended a township meeting since last month, or a city meeting, and I missed the road commission last week also, so. And I will be on vacation next week.
Commissioner Wiltie.
Just got a few things. I have a lot more to report on that Tuesday meeting that we had before Thanksgiving. Commissioner Mayhew and Commissioner Scott said quite a bit about law enforcement that I kind of wanted to talk about. Just one other item, the K9 Tahoe, sadly the motor blew up in that. And, you know, Commissioner Scott talked about the dog currently being on vacation. But one of the new Tahoes, we have our two new Tahoes now, but it's gonna probably be mid-January by the time they're outfitted. But one of those new Tahoes now will go to the K9 officer, so Kip will be back in action at that point. Transit van, we know we have quite a bit of money in our commissary account, and we're gonna be buying a new transit van. We talked about today, the 26 numbers still haven't come out, so we said we will wait a little bit longer, but we really like to get that van ordered, get it equipped so it could be on the road as soon as possible. But the current transit van they're using right now is running fine, so we just said let's keep it on the radar and keep it moving forward. Commissioner Serbrook talked about opiate settlement. You know, basically the only thing I had to add to that is, you know, we do have the 3 RFPs. You know, right now our legal's just finalizing all that. We are going to ask them, because it is a startup, that after 6 months that we get a nice full report from them where we're at with that. And then also just because right now there is a little bit of downtime, we don't feel it's a need to ask for RFPs again as we just did them. So we're going to take December, January, and February off. Of course, we will stay in communication if something would come up, but our next opiate settlement meeting will be in March. Which also will be a good time because Iosco County RFPs are going to be reported in February. And of course, we know we like to see what our neighboring counties are doing. If we can do collaboration or if there's anything we can do that maybe we're missing. So we'll be able to have a good report on that in March. And then that's pretty much all I have. Just a little disappointed. I mean, I know we all have to work together and, you know, I know I've had a few moments over my 2.5 years here where I was out of line once or twice, and I did apologize for that. But I think it's just sad when we're trying to have a good, smart conversation and we're starting to talk about cookie sales and stuff like that. So other than that, that's all I got.
I attended Logan Township. The assessor was there at Logan Township, gave a pretty thorough, good report, is going around to numerous properties, checking on things. Also, they made some budget adjustments. I also attended Richland Township this past week. They have a new treasurer in place, is making some changes, doing a really, really good job. Main topic there is the library, the Prescott, the village there, their library burnt down. It was co-owned, the building was, it's kind of a difficult situation. The building was co-owned by Richland Township and the village, which the village obviously is inside of, Richland Township. The village is wanting to rebuild. The township doesn't really want any part of any part of the library moving forward. They want to turn it over to the village. It's just really unsure. The village is pretty certain that they are going to rebuild, just how they're going to be able to financially sustain that. So they are talking about a possible millage, which would be shared between Richland and Logan. There'll be more to come on that. It's uncertain at this time. I also attended 911 last night. They had a dispatcher retire, which will be a significant loss. Was there a long time. I wrote down how many years and I can't see it. I think it was 30+ years. Dusty retired. Yes. So unfortunately, they lost a veteran there. They have 2 more in training right now that is going very, very well. Jesse's did an amazing job converting over to QuickBooks. She's doing majority of things now. We did agree last night to have Stevenson do the audit for this year. We also agreed on an AI automation system to help with the admit lines, to help with the scam calls, and also this system will help with response time. It's more direct conversation rate to law enforcement. Paul was there, very, very informative presentation that we did move forward with. Churchill Township, I did not attend that meeting. The Churchill supervisor's here, so he'll have an opportunity to give that report in public comment if you would like. Churchill Township does have a business that will be opening Saturday morning. It is called Community Cuts. It is a butcher/meat shop that will be opening Saturday morning for opening day of deer season. That is in Churchill Township. So I got the word today that they passed inspection, so it's good to go. So general public comment.
I do.
Yeah. Your general public comment? Yep. Go ahead.
2 things. A couple months ago, I had an adjustment done to my window in my office to better serve the customers, and that did not come out of my budget. Second thing, I 100% am in support of administrator/controller. I do not think that we should move backwards by going back to just an administrator. We have moved mountains in the last few years, and I feel like that has a lot to do with it. We're all understanding our roles in the county, and we're working really good together. And I feel like we would be moving backwards if we go back to just an administrator.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Did you want to say?
Come
on up, sir.
Ken Schnauz, Churchill's Township Supervisor. We had a very quick meeting. A lot dealt with the fire board. I was not able to make the meeting where they discussed our recent increases. So I can't give you a definitive amount on how much it's going to go on, but the percentage is going to double for all the participating townships. City of West Branch Township, Ogemaw Township, I believe, Churchill, and another one. So our fees are going to go up that we contribute basically on the fact that the fire department's equipment is getting really, really old, and it's really, really expensive to maintain. And so that's I have a meeting in December that I can get back and tell you how much it's been going.
Thank you, sir.
So
Heard you get a new
Any
market.
Commissioner,
yes, we have a new market.
any other public comment? We gotta move along, guys. Any public comment on the phone? No public comment on the phone. We have item 17. Who wants to make a motion to go into closed session?
I'd make the motion that we go into closed session to consider a strategy connected with the negotiation of a collective bargaining agreement pursuant to Michigan Compiled Law 15.268C.
Will there be any business after? Okay, there may be. We have a motion. Any support? Motion with support. Roll call vote.
Charles Wilson.
Yes.
Craig Scott.
Yes.
Randy David.
Yes.
Roger Mayhew.
We are into closed session.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. All right, bye, guys.
Bye, Tony.
Have a good night, John.
Crap, it was done.
MSU contract.
I don't know who's.
Was this the Teamsters?
Would someone like to entertain a motion?
I
Go ahead.
Good.
make a motion that we approve the resolution in regards to the collective bargaining agreement with the Teamsters Local 214 Court Unit.
Motion from Commissioner Serbuk. Support from Commissioner Wiltie. Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Roger Mayhew.
Yes.
Charles Wiltie.
Yes.
Mark Serbrook.
Yes.
Craig Scott.
Yes.
Jenny David.
Yes. Motion carries. Motion to adjourn?
Yeah.
Support. All in favor?
Have a good night, everyone.
I'm whipped.